beard competition with Corey.
Yeah, Corey ain't catching up on nothing, son. I've been buying beard oils and beard balms and beard gels, man. I'm trying to get all the growth. Does anybody hear me? Can the Lord hear me? Do we understand one another?
Can the Lord how far can we go, though? You're out here and do something stupid like this.
I might, actually. I've been thinking about it.
Man, this is crazy.
Down to here.
You ever seen the guys that just have it all the way down the length of their body?
No, that's too much.
Those dudes?
Can't have it on the belly button, brother. I'm thinking if it gets to about here, I'm going to quit it right there.
That'll be Corey's breaking point.
Corey will break.
He's not gonna make it that far. Yeah,
Corey ain't gonna make it as far as I'm right now. He ain't gonna make it that far. He's gonna be like, nah, man, I couldn't take it. My face was fat.
You're looking to get some Pastor Roberts going.
That's right, brother. When he does his sword thing, the side doesn't remember Pastor Roberts.
And all that sword action.
He would take out his sword and he would stand at the podium and go, "Thus saith the Lord." When he whipped that sword around. I remember I walked up to it one time. I was like, is this thing even sharp? Like, felt it. It wasn't sharp, man. He couldn't kill nobody with that thing. I mean, you could stab him. You could beat him to death.
Blunt trauma force.
That's right. Blunt trauma force. Blunt force.
I think it is blunt force trauma.
Brother.
We're talking violence. You want it to be clean?
We're talking violence in every respect. Has anybody seen... Wait, am I recording? Has anybody seen this trailer? Seth, me and Silas were talking. We thought for sure you would have seen this one, brother. I wish I could dim the lights. Let's play this and just watch, man, while you eat a burrito in everybody's face. Brought it to the studio and ate it.
Wait, watch this.
Yeah.
I'll just do that while we watch the trailer. And then I'll put it
Be
back.
clean, brother. This freaking movie actually looks really good. Thank God, dang. I love when they do that sound at the beginning. You know it's going to be a good movie.
My son, never show mercy.
Sorry, are we red?
We're red. We're live.
Clean.
We are predators.
Oh, it's the gladiator.
Boys, your mother is dead.
She died because you sent her away.
She was weak, sick in her mind. You know my business, yes? Power is about strength. If you show weakness, you will give our enemies an opening.
That line is not a joke.
Man, damn.
You're not making it.
He is weak, like his mother. Leave him.
What happened that day?
He got lion blood in him?
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
Oh!
Tell me about this hunter. They say he uses a connection with animals to track his prey. And once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
There's 6 of us, and only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.
Why do you hunt?
My father puts evil into the world. I take it out.
Oh, bear trap in the head is crazy.
You are exactly like our father. Just another man hunting for a trophy.
We're murderers. Isn't that what he taught us?
You don't get to do that to me anymore.
Spider-Man?
Mr. Taglin. Mr. Taglin? Where's Mr. Taglin?
Oh, you're standing in him.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear God.
You're a goddamn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
Clean.
There is an animal in each one of us.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
Oh, what?
That could be a problem.
Bro. What is this? Coming soon when, dog?
It's just the Spider-Man. It's all Spider-Man's villains. We're just making a movie off of this dude. Is that what we're doing?
I mean, I guess.
Now, you know what my problem really is, Sunless?
What's that?
The idea that you can be bitten by and or get the blood of said creature in your body and then you become X. That's my problem.
I'm assuming because did you
reality-
see that lion? I'm
Yeah,
assuming
no,
it
did we
had
give
to
him
be.
steroids?
It might have been like an enhanced lion.
No, did we give him steroids or not?
There was something to that lion because it wasn't a normal lion.
He was
Did you
taking
see
basic
that?
stuff.
Did you see his arms?
Yeah, he was on gear.
I was like, why does this thing have visible triceps, like full delts and everything? I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Delts, front delts,
Yeah,
back delts.
he's got all the
side
delts. Like,
You can work out in Africa
it's a bit much.
if you want to.
And he was just huge. Like, he wasn't just lean; he was massive.
Man, these movies always make me want to. Two things. They make me want to work out because you saw the shirtless picture. He was clean. They make me want to get back in the gym. Self quit, brother. I know what you're gonna say.
I've been in the gym, so I don't need to get back in the gym. But he's small.
Self shut.
He's actually like 185 or whatever, I think.
But he's lean. He's clean. He's in good shape. He's healthy. He's
He's in good
physically
shape, but
capable.
that was like when I started working out. I was ripped and
Man.
like 175, 180.
Hey, come on now.
I wanted to get bigger. I don't want to be.
Let's
lean
bring
and
this
ripped.
back.
Let's bring this back to the movie, brother.
bring this
You're
back to the
no,
movie.
you're going. You tried to slide it in just
No.
No, you
I'm saying
did
it's
though.
clean enough. The steroid line. I'm just
But
saying.
you slid
the
it.
idea that you can do that.
Like that had to be.
Like a spider bites you, and it's all the Spider-Man.
Well, because that's the thing is
universe.
if you see, like if you
If
see,
you've been by a spider, you know what happens? You get an allergic reaction and maybe die.
it was a radioactive spider, right? That's the thing. It's like none of it makes sense because this is a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
do you want a good movie or not, though? I mean, are we trying to be clean? Why are you
Because
besmirching?
without that in the plot, he's just dead. There's
Right, he
He's
just
just dirty.
died.
he's just dirty dead.
He got ripped apart by the lion and just left there, I guess.
His
Yeah,
dad
that's
said he
right.
was
Beat
weak
him.
like his mom, and then left him. Did you hear his dad? He said he's weak like his mother. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
leave him.
Oh,
was dirty.
Leave him before God.
Yeah, it might be pretty good. I
Bro,
don't
the
know.
movie looks incredible. I'm not finding the release date. Let's see if the
Does it have any?
description.
And do you think is Spider-Man in it?
Didn't look like he was in it.
Dang, this trailer came out.
You
in
said he's
June.
one of Spider-Man's villains?
What?
I didn't know that.
This is like
Are you
a
sure?
Marvel spin.
Like an origin story? Okay, so what makes him like, why would he be hunting Spider-Man?
Cause man, lions don't f around with spiders, bro. We kill those things. I mean, could I edit that? Did I send it in there? I threw it in.
You threw it out there. I don't know if anything's going to catch, brother.
I mean, I think he talks to animals though, so he can talk to the spiders. So I wonder if he would have the ability to talk to Spider-Man's inner spider and just make Spider-Man do what he wants him to do. My spidey senses
Well, I
are
mean,
tingling. That's right. That's
Why
me talking
can't,
to you.
I mean, can
Spidey.
Spider-Man talk to the spiders too, though?
I don't think
Can he talk
so.
to him better than the lion? That would make
Technically-
sense.
Well, technically, Spider-Man is just a big human spider.
What?
So wouldn't this man be able to control Spider-Man? He's just a spider.
I
He's
don't
got
know.
spidey
I don't know if
tendencies.
he's got because a spider's not technically an animal. They said animals. I'm like, I don't know. Does that apply to every other living
It's an
organism?
insect. Yeah, it's not really an animal.
Well, it's not. Yeah, I mean,
It's an
it's an arachnid. Yeah, so it's like okay,
Hey man, I'm just trying to keep this guy clean.
but why?
I
Because
think he might.
the issue is the trailer that doesn't make him look like the villain. It makes him look like the hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
He is. Just like Morbius was, anti-hero is really the correct term if we want to get into this nerdy.
So
That's
he's
what they
just
call it.
he's
Venom's
an anti-hero?
Yeah.
Why'd you put Morbius in quotes?
I don't know.
What's that? Is he not as? What did you just besmirch him just
He's not-
now?
I mean, they're all in the same boat. They're all anti-heroes. And we're just going over there, probably their origin story so they can tie into the next movie because Tom Holland's like, oh, the new Spider-Man's coming out, by the way. He just said that on one of those talk shows or something. Did you guys see that?
I
Tom
didn't see
Holland.
that.
They're making another Spider-Man.
Yeah, like Spider-Man 4.
I don't know where we're.
I'm so over Spider-Man, bro.
I'm over Tom Holland as Spider-Man. No offense to him. I like him. I liked him in the Avengers, I guess. I was just more of a Tobey Maguire as like Spider-Man.
Everybody was. That's like Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah.
We're all on that train. Tom Holland's kind of too much of a nerd, and he's too short. Spider-Man, I feel like, is lean and tall and lanky, right? He's like a...
Yeah, in the comic books, I think he's taller. How tall is Tom Holland? What is he? Is he
Short as hell, shorter than Zendaya. So what does it matter, son? He's
Oh yeah, he is short.
the man gets besmirched by his girlfriend.
Oh, you got something about that movie thing, the soccer or tennis movie?
What?
Is that
I don't know
you're
what you're talking about.
She did that scene or whatever with those two guys.
Oh, in a movie, she had a scene with some other. Well, that's not in real life, though. Does that matter?
What, did she do something in real life?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like a couple inches shorter than him. There's guys that have.
I mean, he's rich.
You
and
can make up
famous.
for it.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise sounds he's short, but hey, you know.
Rich and famous. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's
rich
true.
and
Tom
famous,
Cruise is one of my all-time favorites, son. Back in the day, I
He's
wanted
like
to be
5'9" or
Tom.
whatever.
If I could have been
Ethan
him, I would
Hunt?
have been him. That's right.
I know what you're thinking.
Actually, there's a new Mission Impossible coming out too.
Heard about that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it doesn't
I
have
can't wait.
Superman in it, but I'll still watch it.
Well, they never had Superman in it. Henry Cavill died in that last one.
Don't ever say that. He's still alive. No, I'm just kidding.
He was kept
Wait,
dirty.
what? Superman died.
No. Henry Cavill, the character he played, died in the previous Mission Impossible movie because he was the villain. So that character got killed. So we're not going to see Henry Cavill in the next one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tom Cruise ended him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Damn, son, that was crazy.
It was.
But the bathroom fight scene was out of control.
That was
in
legit,
show.
though. That was they said they were filming that for weeks, too.
Well,
It's actually crazy.
It's Tom Cruise, man. When you F around with Tom Cruise,
It's going to be perfect.
everything has to be right. And the
Yeah, we'll do a
scenes are
million takes
incredible.
until it's right.
I've been missing Tom Cruise, bro. There's a movie I just watched last night, Stuntman,
Mm-hmm.
with Ryan Gosling, I think. That was a good movie.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the trailer for that one.
It's like you have to have a star. Like this guy, what movies has he been in?
He's actually Quicksilver in, like, the Avengers movies. It's the same actor.
Yeah, you couldn't dodge
He
bullets.
plays, what is it, Scarlet Witch's brother, who
Really?
died. Yeah, so that character died. He's back as Kraven, the same actor, though.
by bullets. So it's the
Yeah.
one thing you should be able to dodge if you're super fast like that.
Yeah, I think he used his body as a shield. I don't know, because
Did
who
he?
did he save? He saved someone. I think it was Hawkeye. He took
Oh,
the
yeah.
bullets for him. Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is like a movie that I haven't taken seriously until now. Or, I mean, this actor in specific, he's one of those guys, you know, guys have their breakout roles.
Yeah.
Like, to me, he's one of those guys where it's like, I've never thought about him, I haven't watched the Marvel movie he was in, the Quicksilver nonsense. But now, he finally got this role, bro, and I'm all about this actor all of a sudden.
He's clean.
He's clean. Now I can see his
looks-
potential. The man's a savage.
Mhm.
The trailer is out of control. He might be one of my new favorite heroes.
What's this guy's name? I don't know who this is.
I don't know his name either, but he's
Taylor Johnson? Aaron Taylor Johnson. Aaron Taylor Johnson is Craven. Which I've never heard of him before this, but
That's Corey. Just don't answer it.
it is actually Corey.
I'm dope with it.
I was joking, but
How'd you know that, Seth?
it just sounded dirty when it went off. I was like, this is Corey.
It was, and it is. I can't read this to
Man, I don't
anybody.
even think Seth's been on the mic when he's been talking like at all.
No, I just move it away when I'm eating.
Yeah.
I try to not eat too much around the mic.
Can you maintain our
trying to be
cleanliness,
clean.
brother?
This is the post-workout deal.
I think we should go to the theater to watch this as a group. What do you boys think about that? Is anybody down? Yes, Jocko goes to the theaters.
Jared, keep me clean,
Yes.
because right now you're keeping me dirty.
No, I'm keeping you clean.
You know what? Did I show you that trailer the other day, Nosferatu?
Yeah, you showed that to us. Was that the same actor?
Actually, I think it
Was that
is.
the Gladiator
Is
actor
it?
in that one?
No, it's not. It's not Russell Crowe. Willem Dafoe is in it.
Too? Nosferatus. Should we watch that one?
We may as well.
What's it? How do you spell Nos?
NOS
F
ER.
E
A.
R. Nosferatu,
Yeah.
1922.
That's an old one, yeah.
Is this the original? The
Yeah, so
official
there's
trailer?
the original, and then that's the new trailer right above
This
it.
is the new one.
Yeah. It's coming out Christmas Day.
Man, clean me up. Guys, we're just having a podcast. This is the After Dark show. Welcome to BTG Squad. I forgot to say that.
Come to me.
Yeah, this one looks good
Never
too.
shared my secret with any soul.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
Oh, that guy. Green Goblin.
Yeah.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding.
Seth, did you see this one?
Everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible.
I feel like this should be a
Standing
vampire
before me.
movie.
It is.
Is it?
Was
Yeah.
death. But I had never been so happy.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
This creature is a force more powerful than evil. Its desire is to consume all life on Earth. Only you can redeem us. He is coming.
I love it. Getting hyped up.
There is a devil in this world, and I have met him.
But you could never please me as he could.
Before God, man. To the ceiling, brother. I mean, I busted.
Hey, Jared, keep this clean.
Was he at the ceiling?
No,
I
he wasn't
think
at the
so.
ceiling. He was at the graveyard.
I think he was at the roof. Did he drop his credit card? Oh, he's inside. Shout out to the Hodge twins, by the way. Oh yeah, and speaking of the Hodge twins, commercial break. If you guys have some questions or stories you want us to read or talk about on the show, email btgsquad128@gmail.com, and we're gonna do live videos about those. So yeah, that was a good movie, right? I mean, looks like it.
Looks good.
It's coming out December 25th. That's this year.
Yep.
Finally, dude. I don't know. Maybe I wonder if Hollywood is this a Hollywood? It's all still Hollywood. They're finally starting to come around and put out some good shows again.
Well, and this is because this is a redo. It's a remake of the original one, which I haven't seen the original.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen the original either. Looks good to me though.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. What have you been watching lately on your I don't want to blow up your spot, your website?
Well, yeah, I haven't watched anything recently. Nothing new. I finished season 2 of Arcane. That was good.
What is that?
It's a good show. That song that you like came from that.
Oh,
an
man.
overly dramatic
Damn.
show.
I wish we could play music on this show, but YouTube will cancel me like within a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll cut you off.
I know. So copyright this, copyright that. I think it's like 10 seconds of a song you can play, maybe. Did anybody see that CEO that got murdered?
I heard about
for
that.
the United Healthcare thing?
You know, it's interesting because of the amount of like people being happy about it.
That is what's interesting.
They're happy he got murdered. I don't know who you're talking about.
Because it's like, didn't he have a family and everything? Was he a terrible person? Because I didn't do a lot of research into it.
Well,
but I think it's weird. Like, we can't be celebrating people's deaths just because they were like wealthy.
But like, can't we? Okay, so here's my point. Here's my take on it, man.
That's a dirty way to go.
Damn. The guy was the CEO of a healthcare insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna play
a healthcare insurance company.
Yeah, he was like the healthcare or the I think this
police really
CEO. I wish they would tell what the freaking United Healthcare, I think, is the name of
UHC. It says, yeah, I think that's it.
It's an insurance company though, and they insurance companies are constantly scamming people.
Could be.
So
Could be
it
that
is.
He was involved in like some some theft and some
some disrespectful stuff.
I mean, that dude was balls deep in the insurance game, and he was making $10 million a year. The company itself makes like $20 billion or something a year like that. So everybody is like, when you go to the hospital and you try to file a claim for your insurance, and the insurance, I don't go to the hospital for anything. I've really never been to the hospital for anything. I've been to clinics for like, you know, just general medication if I have like a sinus infection or a bad cold or something. But
yeah,
a lot of people deal with super bad health issues, and they go to it's like you pay for all this insurance, comes out of your check every time, and then you go to the hospital and they monkey you around for weeks or months or whatever it is. It's like paying insurance and you get in an accident, and then the insurance company is like, yeah, no, this is that one thing where we're just not going to cover it type of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like everybody who goes to the hospitals and stuff were commenting on this guy's video, by the way, because they're like, yeah, I'm happy he's dead. Nobody's looking for him. We're going to read some of these comments, but let's watch, just because this came out just 2 hours ago. People are just kind of happy that the guy's dead because they don't trust the medical system, and the medical care system is basically just a money scheme. They're there to make money, not to actually help and insure people and make sure you have great coverage and all this stuff. They're there to make money. So yeah, everybody's like, no, we don't care if you find the killer or not. It's like, I'm like, man, damn.
Breaking news in the search for the Midtown CEO killer. Police just released new photos of the man that they're looking for at this hour. Good evening, I'm Alan Devlin. Jessica is off tonight. Still, no arrest in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, but just a short time ago, the NYPD released 2 brand new photos of the man they say and they're describing as a person of interest in the case. Police want to question him about Thompson's murder. Here are some of those photos right here. This latest development comes just hours after NYPD divers were in Central Park searching for a key piece of evidence. Derek Waller has the latest on the investigation.
The manhunt now intensifying 2 days after police shared this photo. A rare moment, they say, the person of interest.
See, people are saying that's not even him. Like, a lot of people are saying that's a different jacket. It's a different.
They're trying to save him.
Yeah, probably.
I actually
assassination.
I saw something on this yesterday, and someone commented. They said we should all confess so they can never catch him. Someone literally commented that on an Instagram reel.
There's a piece of me that just slightly agrees. I know people. You might think I'm terrible. We're gonna talk about it. Let's play this.
Lowered his mask. Sources say it was during a flirtatious moment with an employee at the Upper West Side hostel where he had been staying.
But the net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Mayor Eric Adams speaking to reporters Saturday, revealing that police know the man's name, but are not yet releasing it.
We don't want to release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he can hide behind a mask.
Citizen App video shows crime scene tape Saturday in Central Park, next to where an NYPD scuba team dove into the lake. The search for clues happening in this iconic area packed with tourists and families.
This corner, like not a big area, but this corner was blocked off with like probably 5 policemen, 1 van, and then we saw scuba gear and a couple divers getting in and just kind of like splashing around, looking only in this area.
Charlotte tells me she didn't see the police leave the lake with anything.
Yeah, they're in the water.
It's also close to where investigators found a backpack Friday they believe belonged to the suspect. In it, a jacket, they say, but no murder weapon. We're also getting a clearer picture of the timeline before and after the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson Wednesday morning. Police say the person of interest left his Upper West Side hostel around 5:30 a.m., arriving at the Midtown Hilton just 11 minutes later, ordering Starbucks at around 6:17, before setting his eyes on Thompson and pulling the trigger at 6:46. He then quickly hopped on a bike to Central Park before grabbing a taxi, hopping out, and then catching another taxi to the Port Authority bus terminal in Washington Heights, where police believe he left the city soon after. Police also believe that the person seen on camera shooting and killing Thompson on Wednesday did not know him personally. In Central Park, Derek Waller, CBS News, New York.
And we.
So, I want to make it very clear. I'm not for people being murdered. I'm not for people being besmirched in that way. But, here's the but, okay? I'm not happy this guy got murdered. But, a lot of people's outrage about this is because the medical industry, and specifically the company he was a part of, is responsible for a lot of people dying because they can't get proper health care coverage, or they get denied, or they get yanked around. And people die all the time through these insurance and medical companies. And there's no investigation into the deaths of these people. Like, so now they're like, or even just random deaths, right? In ghettos and neighborhoods and stuff. Just general people who die every day by getting shot. Nobody's putting out like, oh, we're going to get the whole SWAT team on this and that. Oh, but now a CEO dies of a company who is responsible potentially for getting a lot of people killed all the time. These healthcare companies, man, they play with people's lives daily, and they're just doing it for profit. And so people they don't care that the man died. Let's read some of these comments, okay?
Oh, God, the first thing I saw. Do you see that one?
Yeah, more coverage on this CEO than any United Healthcare policy. And this is, okay, so if all of the comments, right, and most of them are all like this, if all the comments are saying similar stuff, come on, there's something to it. We're not happy the man's dead, but we're also like, I mean, people in the normal average Americans are trying to send a message to the
Imagine
government.
if they cared this much about the millions of sick and elderly whose lives are destroyed from the health insurance industry.
My brother-in-law almost died in Queens when he got hit by a truck. The cops refused to pull camera footage. But for this rich man, they're pulling every camera footage on the East Coast. Shame on you, NYPD. Yeah, that's what people are pissed about. They're putting so much effort. It's like,
do you see
3 New Yorkers are murdered every week. Can we start reporting on the other 2 murders?
You see that one?
The CEO, this one?
The one right below it.
This CEO died because his health insurance company decided that a bullet removal was a cosmetic procedure. What?
Stop reporting
this like a criminal wasn't killed. The CEO was the healthcare racketeer. Which there's great, that's a great argument. I think it's a great argument. Yeah. I can't say it enough. I'm not happy the guy got killed. I'm not for murder, any of that. But these are valid complaints from everyday human beings who are sick and tired of not being treated fairly from the law enforcement, from the government, from insurance companies. Dude, insurance companies, man, they're such a dirty business, especially with the medical practice. The insurance companies have ruined the healthcare industry, first of all. They have, because they dictate what you can cover. They dictate the certain medication that doctors can prescribe. And a lot of this I learned from listening to a podcast that Joe Rogan did with a former healthcare guy. He used to go to hospitals and try to sell new drugs, new treatments, to these doctors and stuff. And he eventually quit doing all that, and he opened up his own healthcare system. I can't remember the name. Ways to Well. If you can find that guy, he owns and operates a company called Ways to Well. I think they're based out of Texas. But he just found so much darkness in the insurance industry. And it's just sickening to watch how they manipulate doctors. Because we hear all the time how doctors they're just pill pushers now. They don't care about your health, right? The medical institution is not there to make you better. It's there to get money out of you, right? So if that's the case, it's like, why would we heal you, right? It's that argument. We just want to get you slightly better, or maybe in some situations slightly worse.
Yeah, that's the pharmaceutical company. It's been like that forever. It's there to make a profit. We don't want to. Yeah.
So people are pissed.
If people are healthy, we're not making money, right?
Yeah, and this guy was at the forefront of that. And someone murdered him and he wrote on the bullets, deny, depose, defend, or deny, depose, something. He wrote words on the shell casings, right, that they found. But he was trying to send a message to the healthcare industry, it seems like. Getting the feeling public sentiment isn't behind this one, no matter how hard the media tries. Meanwhile, if a regular person dials 911, the police will take 40 minutes to show up. Whoever turns this man in will forever be shamed as a coward. And I actually think, just based off of the comments here, I think someone might be like helping this guy get away.
I mean, it looks like anyone in these comments would be happy to, like that one right at the bottom.
My heart dropped. I thought they caught him. Phew.
It's like,
what about bringing that insurance company to justice for all the denials that cause people to die? Exactly. They are truly responsible for many people dying every year because they will deny them coverage. If you, oh God, just the medical industry is just terrible. I've heard, you get like a bill from your mechanic, like you go to a mechanic shop and they give you a bill for whatever, and you're like, oh, if they don't itemize your bill, you're like, oh, what was this miscellaneous shop supplies?
Mm-hmm.
And it's $300. It's like that might be, oh, we used one pair of gloves, and a funnel. Yeah. They can do stuff like that, and the medical industry will do the same exact thing. I've heard people go to the hospital to have babies, and they'll give you these non-itemized receipts at the end of your visit, and they don't have to put on. There's tricks and ways they can get away with doing it through insurance companies like this, where they've skirted the system to where they don't have to give you an itemized receipt unless you like ask them, and you have to go through all this BS to get like, what did you charge me $13 for? And this one family found out they charged them. I don't want to say numbers. I'm throwing numbers out. I don't have exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure it was like $13 on their bill, and it was for one baby aspirin. They went in and found, they like got to the bottom of it. They're like, we need itemized receipts for all the stuff you charged us for, and they're finding out, yeah, oh, we gave you a baby aspirin and we billed you $13 for it, right? So that's the kind of shit that these people do in these hospital systems. So yeah, people are pissed, and I'm.
It's like a lot of things, right? So you remember those fees, the miscellaneous bank fees?
Oh yeah, everybody does it.
Like, oh, we charged you a service fee, $2 or whatever, and maybe a lot of people won't care. They won't dispute it. Like, oh, whatever, $2 a year or something, and then they got a couple million members, so we charged every single one of these people the service fee. We made like, $20 million or something because we charged 20 million people $2, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah, how does this company make $22 billion a year or whatever they make, whatever that number is that they make per year? It's from stuff like that we don't know about, and they're just able to get away with it over and over, and they're just sucking the blood out of normal people.
Yeah,
it's not fair, it's not right, and nobody looks into it. Like, this guy will get assassinated now, and the whole world, the FBI's in on finding out who killed him, the freaking NYPD's all over it. And the general public are telling you all, we don't care. Stop looking for him. It's like, I don't agree that a killer should not be brought to justice for murder, right? But this isn't a weird, extreme situation where I'm just trying to make a point about the sentiment of the public view on this. And our cries aren't heard. We're paying for or New Yorkers are paying for the NYPD with our taxes. They tax the hell out of people in New York, man. There's like, you get taxed extra to drive on roads, all these tolls. They were during the virus and the pandemic and all that crap. They were asking residents in some of these, which I found out we're actually a sanctuary state.
North Dakota
we are,
is?
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I found that out the other day.
I didn't know that.
I didn't confirm it, but someone told me who I trust, so I'll just throw that out there. But yeah, these sanctuary states, man, they were asking people, oh, how's
these people with you?
How's these migrants in your house? While
your wife and daughter here,
and I'm going to bring in a potential murderer or a graper.
It's like
he's going to try to beat the ceiling's house, the migrant, when he comes in.
So, Seth, I mean, I got to pause here, brother. I mean, can you clean this up?
Oh, sorry.
This
keep it clean.
I mean, this is after dark, but it's only so far
after. We're not. It's not midnight yet, brother. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not saying if this guy came to me, I wouldn't hide him though. So I in my house, brother.
Hey, man.
No, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of
all that.
I don't even deal with the insurance companies or the medical companies, but I'm sick of it too. I'm sick of it. I'm fed up. It's enough. I gotta be careful what I say, but I'm not happy the guy's dead. But damn it, man, you gotta listen to the public on this. Like, how about you investigate the company as well for some of their murders? Because they have been murdering people. Insurance companies are 100% responsible for murders.
Is it murder
if you
if I just
deny
let
people,
this dude die? Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't murder him. I just
You denied him coverage.
I didn't want to remove the bullet. It's a cosmetic. He could just leave the bullet in. He'll be good. What are you talking about? He'll be all right. Just walk it off.
Walk it off, huh?
So, what do you?
I'm joking, but yeah.
What do you think about this, man? Are you on? I feel like you have a different opinion.
Yeah, you've been quiet. You've been thinking about it. What do you?
Well, listen. I wouldn't have shot him, but I do think that this is very telling because I didn't know the comments went this hard.
They're deep, son,
and
balls deep.
And there's not one dissenting comment. Like they're all in agreement here. I've been looking and I haven't found one. Like all of them are either like sarcastic. Like what's that one? It says the criminal died and now they're looking for the hero.
So
like this is crazy. Yeah,
they're
right.
looking for the hero? Question mark. Very strange.
So I think
leave him alone. Yeah, you never covered a missing New York City child like this. Yeah, children who go missing every single year and they're trafficked and all this. I don't see this level of intensity when they're searching for the people that are taken. I'm not reading the comment. I'm speaking, but I don't see the same level of intensity, and that's what people are pissed about. We're pissed. I'm pissed.
Somebody said, I thought you guys had no funding.
Oh yeah, they got all kinds of funding for this, man. And it's not like the guy's family is paying for the police to do this. It's not like they're like, or United Healthcare wrote a check to the NYPD and they're like, hey man, find the killer. I don't think that's the case. I think NYPD is just like, oh, it's a rich man. He's part of the healthcare industry. He's an important person.
Well, it's one of those things like if you're talking about like the CEO of a $1 billion company, they're connected. They've got.
Oh yeah, we're looking for him.
So.
And they think their mistake is they think we all care. That was their mistake. They think the public gives a damn. We're all like, okay, he got killed. Maybe like the insurance companies do with a lot of other deaths. Let's just sweep this one under the rug and just continue. Throw that file in the shelf with the 15,000 other people that you won't look for. They're killers, right? Why is this front and center? It's just because he's popular. It's like if a big time politician gets assassinated or something. I get it, right? He's a big, high up person. They kind of have to make it's a whole scene. We gotta look for this guy. This dude was super important.
Yeah, and he might have donated to the policeman's
ball. Sure. Donated freaking
box of donuts or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on it. You know, I'm just conflicted.
In New York City, so
I mean, I think it could be true that it probably was too far to shoot him in the back of the head, but also
see making me look
but also we should investigate the criminal and the unethical activities that these companies are involved in, where they're allowing people to suffer and profiting off of doing that more and more.
But they won't.
Those two
things comments are here.
Right. I get it.
Right? Are we all clean on this?
Seth's not clean.
I'm clean. I agree.
I just get it. I understand the public
I understand
outcry.
The sentiment for sure.
Mm-hmm. And they have valid points.
Did they really classify somebody's gunshot wound as a cosmetic procedure and then deny him?
I hope that's a joke.
I don't know.
I don't know how you pull that off.
Yeah, literally. I don't know how you.
What comment was that? Was that?
I don't know if that was.
Yeah, someone actually. I thought someone said that in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. This CEO died because his health insurance company decided that a bullet removal was a cosmetic procedure. I don't understand.
I think that's a joke. They're talking about. They're saying the CEO died. Like they're saying, oh, the only reason because his own health insurance
his own
said
company screwed
we can't
him.
remove the bullet.
Oh yeah,
it's
okay.
cosmetic.
Okay, so
like-
they're like
he'll be
I
okay with
think
this
they were
one.
trolling with that comment.
100%. Yeah, they must have been trolling. Look at all the likes on all these comments, bro.
Hundreds
So-
of likes.
Yeah, thousands.
1,000. That one's got almost 2,000. That one's got 3.4.
Yeah, so if people are not writing their own comment, they're just like, well, let me go like this because I agree.
So that one's got
I
15.
agree.
I don't see any dislikes.
No, there are no thumbs down. Everybody's loving it, right?
These are hours old, and they got thousands of likes.
Yeah, why don't you listen to the people who voted you in office and who are funding you and your in the NYPD? Why don't you listen to the people? I wonder if the government goes in and reads these comments. Do they give a damn?
No,
I don't
they
think
don't.
so.
I don't think they do.
I mean, I understand they have a duty to uphold the law. And if
So
someone
do you
gets
really care about
murdered-
them that much?
Who's they, brother? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on board with them. I almost agree with the one comment about the hero. But here's the problem.
That's
with
more
it
of
all.
closer to an anti-hero, probably.
A demigod, brother.
I said anti-hero, not a demigod.
So did he not do us? Well, see, that's the
'Cause
thing.
Is this gonna be better now?
No, because that's the issue, right? It's not better because they're not going to look into the company, right? So all the comments, everything people are agreeing with, and they're like, oh, forget about looking for this dude, all that stuff, right? It doesn't matter because they do have to look for the killer, and they're not going to look into these insurance companies because they're making so much money. And like, I forget who said it, but these companies donate, man, and they're not going to turn on their donors, right? Like a $20 billion company that donates to different parties and different groups, and we're all making money in a circle. We're not going to investigate you guys until it makes sense to us to do so, right?
Yeah, if there's enough public outrage, there's riots in the street.
Like that rapper that just got put in not Little Baby.
Put in what?
Some rapper just got was it Lil Baby? No, it wasn't Lil Baby, it was Lil something.
Lil Wayne, Lil Nas X. There's so many Lils,
I don't know.
it doesn't really narrow it down for me.
Let me find him real quick.
Little Baby, that's a...
I think it's Da Baby. There's a Da Baby. I don't know if there's a Little Baby.
But he got arrested.
Would that be the president's rap name if she started a rap?
Oh yeah, Lil Durk. This guy.
God.
Chicago
he got put in
rapper.
jail. That's what you're saying. Though. It's like,
Yeah, but he got arrested for murder. And I think he was involved in several murders, right? But he got arrested finally on these murders because people were snitching on him in his inner group.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched an interview of a guy that was kind of close to him. And the guy was like, yeah, man, the FBI, the CIA, whoever else, they're not going to target you until you get... They're like, they wait until you build yourself up. They don't want to take out these little criminals who got nothing for them. So they'll wait till you get millions or hundreds of millions in your bank account, and then they'll target you to just wipe you off the face of the earth because they take all that money from you.
Seize it as
They
evidence.
seize it, yeah. They get all the money. He's like, they're not going to get you when you're little. So they let criminals go for long enough time, and then they just seize them when
Give
they
you
get
enough rope
big.
to hang yourself.
That's right, because they want some of the profit off of this.
That's almost...
that's dirty.
It is dirty. But like it would be very similar with a big company like this, right? If a company like United Healthcare will piss off the government or the FBI or whoever else enough, it's like, oh, now we're going to come after you, and we also get to seize all that money or a lot of it or whatever, right? But right now they're all happy. They're paying these people off. They're paying off the government. They're donating to campaigns and stuff like that. They're keeping everybody happy. So that's why these companies are able to deny coverage to people who then go and die. You know, which is essentially murder in my opinion, because it's not in their best interest to investigate these companies, even though we all know they're dirty. And I mean that with no disrespect, but all disrespect, brother. Clean. Yeah, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted, brother. You know, it's listen to the public a little bit on some of this stuff. But that's a crazy story. And it's weird, too, because I was talking with a guy last night we were all out at this group function, and I was talking to this guy I think he's a lawyer or a criminal defense attorney or something like that, and they were talking about this weird gun the dude used. Mm-hmm. It's like a super old. They've done. I thought it was a 22 because it looked like it was malfunctioning. You know, he had to like re-rack it several times, and 22s are known to jam up like that. Yeah, but they're like, it's this weird old gun. So this dude, I don't know. This dude was like trying to truly send a message. And message received. I'm here. So I'm here for it, brother.
Well,
I'm here for it.
I'm not here for innocent people getting murdered. Not to
was
say
he innocent?
He probably wasn't innocent.
Yeah, let's go full Andrew Tate on this, man. Was he innocent? You saw the Tate video that he put out I loved it, man. Tate's response to the Conor McGregor thing. After we did our podcast, I went and saw that. I was like, damn, Tate. Because me, like, what I'm doing right now, I'll hold back on the show, right? I'm like, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want this. Maybe Conor McGregor did it. I threw all that out there. Tate just said, he didn't do it. She's a liar. She's a crook. She's all this stuff. He was just 100% on Conor. He didn't even offer a condolence to the woman.
I feel bad for women who actually go through stuff, and then if you come out and lie, and then it looks, people start to believe you less and less, and they're like, I don't know, because there's a lot of people that just come out and lie because they want money, because they want to,
What's crazy is she didn't get a penny in terms of Connor's net worth. That's what's crazy to me.
She got, like,
if you went after him for money, that's chump change to him.
I think it was
you know how much money he's
money
worth?
and like what you said, the reputation, like public reputation, the image. She wanted to clean that up a bit.
Yeah, but
she was like, if I just admit that I was just out partying with Conor McGregor, I did some coke and I hooked up with him, it just makes, and I was cheating on my husband or partner at the time. That looks bad. So she was like, let me clean this up and collect a few 100,000 at the same time, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, now that I've seen some of the videos,
even though it's not.
And the evidence about that, I 100% think that's what she did. I think she's guilty. I think she was out there hoeing around on her husband. She did send Conor McGregor a bunch of photos, promiscuous photos. She was hanging out with him, drinking with him, lying to her husband.
Even though she said she wasn't interested in sleeping with him. Then why are you all over him, kissing him, hugging him in public, trying to get his attention, but you were just there to be friends and hang out? I'm like, something's not tracking right now. This doesn't look clean. Looks dirty.
Man, the Hodge twins have influenced this group so deeply. Clean.
Yeah, we love the Hodge twins. They're funny. Especially like old school Hodge twins. It's more conservative now. It's more political now than the jokes, but they're still funny. So
they are super funny.
Yeah, we stole a bunch of theirs.
Yeah, but I want to get to that point a little more where instead of, I know it's easy to play it safe. Like, for instance, this video we just watched of the CEO getting killed. My instinct is to say, yeah, the public's right about this one. This man probably deserved it. He had it coming. He's murdered several hundreds of thousands of innocent people through his health care. Not directly, but indirectly, he's allowed a lot of this shit to happen. He's continued to do it. He's making tons of money doing it. Doesn't care about people dying because they're denying coverage. They're playing games with people's lives. So my instinct, my Andrew Tate route to this is to just go, yeah, he got what he had coming to him. There's a little taste of his own medicine. The man's dead now. But the problem with it is they're not going to look into the company. That's where it all just falls apart because you're like, he died, but what was the point? Because he's painted as the villain, which, I mean... But nobody's going to look into this insurance company, and we all know they're a fraud. We all know they're taking advantage of people, just like a dirty mechanic, man. I hate people like that. I can't stand dirty freaking people that take advantage of, because the general public, we're not rich people. These companies, medical companies, contractors that do work on houses, mechanics, all these people, insurance companies, they don't seem to understand, like our sister's car. They were going to charge her $5,000 to get that stupid little problem fixed, and it was not going to cost that at all. Even if they'd have done it the way they wanted to do it, they were upcharging the hell out of her on that price. It was not going to take that. I saw online, like, $2,000 maybe to fix that issue if they'd have had to tear apart the whole dash like they were talking about doing. which technically is the right way to do that job. But to charge, like, women will come into these mechanic shops or the healthcare system or whatever, and if you don't have any kind of understanding about what's going on, they'll just take so much massive advantage. And they don't understand people are living on. There's a girl whose car I just fixed recently. She was having an ignition problem, and I called around to these shops and was getting quotes from different shops, and one shop quoted me $400 or like $360, and it's the best shop I know. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate from what the research I've done into this problem for them to fix that issue. Yeah, about $350 is an accurate number. You're not ripping us off. You're making a little bit of profit. That's how it should be. I'm calling around these other mechanic shops and dealerships. I'm getting $600 quotes. I'm getting $650, $700, like closer. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're just ripping people off, and it's sickening, and I hate it. And so when people get assassinated, no, Si, I'm tired of this shit. When people get assassinated, okay, it's like you've been molesting the public for years, okay? Straight up.
That word.
To the ceiling, to the floor,
That
brother.
word, though.
No, you have been molesting bank accounts, molesting people's integrity.
Just been groping people's
taking
finances.
You've been taking advantage of people, yeah.
Groping their wallets.
Yeah, oh, that was my point. Yeah, this girl, I'm telling her, because like $300 to me nowadays is nothing, right? I'll pay $300 to get something fixed. But this girl's like, I'm telling her.
Don't ever bring up the fact that you got a lot of money again.
but I'm telling this girl, I'm like, hey,
Corey's actually tired of that too.
Man, he's got a Corvette. He's fine. I always bring that up. That's my main thing now. I'm like, Corey, I ain't got a Corvette. Yeah. But I was telling this girl, I was like, oh, it's gonna take, probably $200, $300 to get your car fixed. Tow it to the shop, do this. And I'm telling mom this, and the girl's like, I ain't got $200 to get my car fixed. I don't even have two. I'm like, you ain't got 200. Like, what are we doing here? But that's actually a lot of people, and those are the people that these companies take advantage of. They forget these people are going to work. They're going to throw that on a credit card. Oh, let's not talk about the credit card companies that are going to just absolutely molest you.
Usury laws, actually, which is kind of sketchy.
What?
Usury? So, like, where you're charging, like, obscene amounts of interest. So, there's lots of things you can't charge. Like, you can't charge ridiculous amounts of interest on everything, but credit cards, they're actually exempt from a lot of those regulations.
It's criminal,
because people use credit cards and they don't have it taught to them what it means. They're like, well, this is a debit card. It's like, no, very different.
Yeah, 100% different.
Very different from a debit card.
Yeah, and they're straight up.
You don't just have $9,000.
No, man.
Every month. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, but when you have your only vehicle, you have a job that pays you $18 an hour in this economy, or I don't even know, she might be making less than that. I don't know. You have limited hours. It's not like they let you work 24/7. They'll set your hours. Your hours are trash, maybe. And who wants to work the hell anyway? But if you're making no money, you have to work a lot of hours. So when the bill comes due for your car, your medical insurance, like anything happens.
You don't have options. You just have to find a way to pay it. Yeah.
You got to find a way to pay it. And that's where the credit card companies show up. And they're like, yeah, we're going to screw you too. You thought we were here to help? So every corner, man, these CEOs of these companies, the companies themselves, they're all allowing this to happen. And the public is tired of it, bro. Right? So this woman, if she'd had, I fixed her car. And it costs nothing, really. I tampered around with it and got a few things running, and it's working now. But if she'd had to go and get this thing done at any of these places, everywhere along the line, people are just financially gouging.
So what's interesting about that? And I don't disagree with anything you're saying. But what's interesting about that? I was having a discussion not that long ago with someone who does repairs on like plumbing stuff, right? And so he's an employee where he works. And so he was talking with his bosses about, he's like, hey, like I've been working like for you guys for this long, like I'm your best guy. I want a raise. And so they're like, okay, well, we'd have to increase our rates for what we charge customers. And so he's like, okay. What that means though is like part of what you're paying for is the other employees who are negotiating their pay upwards because they pay labor. So
Right.
you're talking if we're just talking parts, like, okay, parts cost this much. How much does that mechanic want to make an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and he's an employee. He's like, I'm trying to make ends meet.
Right. We're all you're screwing your employees, you're screwing the customer.
Everybody's in that circle. It's kind of
it doesn't end, and there's no accountability unless it's in the form of a bullet. A bullet is the end to a discussion sometimes, okay? I'm not advocating.
Sometimes it's the end.
I think all the time. We're not really talking after you pull the trigger.
I mean, what did Joe Biden say? Shoot him in the leg, brother. Maybe you'll get the best.
They tried to shoot him in the ear and it didn't work.
Didn't work. Before God, it didn't work. People don't have money. They don't have time. They don't have resources to play around like this.
Well, you got money. Corey's been telling me you got a lot of money.
I'm clean, thanks to the economy, thanks to Trump right now, I think. You know, my Bitcoin is going up. Praise God.
No, I think Corey made it sound like you already had money.
Hey, man, Corey needs to be clean. I don't have a Corvette. I'll say that to the end of time. Maybe Corey's part of the problem.
I mean, he's contributing to,
Which problem?
All of it, brother. To the ceiling, to the floor.
Oh, that problem. It's a different problem.
Yeah, it just gets old. I don't like people who gouge your money like that for no reason. They're like, oh, yeah, just charge her. I worked at a company once where it was, I was in charge of, like, we would go out with the crew. This was back when I was in the oil field. We would go out with these crews.
You would negotiate.
No, I was in charge of billing them for the materials that we used, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't overcharging them necessarily, but we were sometimes at the end of the day, I'd be like, we use this amount of material or whatever, and your boss or whoever else, they're like, okay, we'll throw on some old stuff, old stock we would call it, and just kind of we're just billing them for this old material. They're kind of getting billed twice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit here and there. We're throwing on, bill them for that, throw that in there. It wasn't egregious amounts of money. But even we were doing it, and I never felt part of the problem. Good about it. I was
$13 for baby aspirin.
Hey man, keep me clean. Can I be edited?
How much does this old material cost me?
Everyone does it, right? But some companies do it to an extent where it's just completely unacceptable, right? It's like, I understand you want to add a little extra here and there to make yourself some profit, right? But don't add $4,000 to the end of the bill if the bill was $2,000.
And it's interesting because, like, what is considered fair, like, people measure that differently. So, like, when I want to charge $10 for something and then I realize I can charge $100 for it, and if people keep buying it, then they say, well, it must be worth it to them. Right. And so that's interesting. It's like, okay, does the market dictates that this is worth $100. I thought it was only worth $10. So now instead of making, a $5 profit, I'm making a $95,000 profit. Right.
And what you don't realize is these people have to pay.
Right. But that's the thing.
It's not worth it to them.
It's difficult because when you're dealing with, like, this is something they need to live.
Like insulin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the insulin.
Exactly.
Freaking
right.
BS.
Right. And so, like, what you can demand from the market doesn't necessarily equate to, like, fairness in, like, an ethical sense, but, like, more like this is, this is the free market.
Right. And you're gouging. Mm-hmm. And nobody's holding you accountable. If let's say I screw up on my taxes by a couple $100, you think they're going to come after me? Oh, yeah. They're on me. For that couple $100, they'll come after you at the end of the year or whatever it is. But I'm telling you, man, these companies are not being held accountable. How can you not want to hold accountable the people who are overcharging 90%?
Because they're paying. They're
Yeah,
paying you to not hold them accountable with some of the excess that they get.
It infuriates me to a level that before God I can't understand. It infuriates me, brother. And I'm just here to say a bullet fixes a lot of problems, okay? We're a country that has gone astray from God. People need to be held accountable, and they don't get it, right? Unless assassinations start happening. I'm not advocating for that. I 100% am not for assassinations or murders. But sometimes to send a message, the people need to stand up a little bit for themselves, and we're just getting gouged at
Well,
every
that's the
corner.
thing is like we're too poor to even boycott them sometimes.
Seems
it's
like
can we not boycott? Like, is there no like upstanding like health insurance company that you could go to and be like, we're gonna boycott these other companies that are gouging us and setting us up to fail and letting us die and denying us coverage when we've been paying you for years and years and years, right? Is there no competitive like
ways to well
right,
is trying to do that?
Because that's the thing, is like that's a huge opportunity for someone that wants to do business in a way that's ethical, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's an industry. Because you think about insurance, it's like it's so valuable, but it's so cheap at the same time. Like, we promise you, you know, that when things go wrong, we'll be there. And they hope that things don't go wrong for you ever, but you have to pay them for them to keep that promise. So their cost to make good, like, almost never comes through. Like, they almost never, like, for life insurance, like, you're not going to die for another 60 years.
We got you.
They're like,
buddy.
we got you.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
But it's like, okay, well, but you could die at any moment.
Sure.
But you're probably not going to die for
Better
60
have the
years.
insurance, though, just in case.
Just to be
truck
safe.
hits
You know? And it's like, it's worth it to a lot of people to have that. But at the same time, it's like, that's why it's such a profitable business. And it's one of those things where you get so greedy so quick, is what it seems like.
They really do.
You know what I was thinking of? I don't want to besmirch. I'll
besmirch, brother.
Well,
see,
I'm not going to besmirch. I'm not going to besmirch. But you know Patrick Bet David, his PHP company, it was an insurance company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn.
I like Pat a lot. There's not anything necessarily wrong with
What kind
that.
of insurance was he selling?
I don't really know. I don't know if it was life insurance. I think it might have been life insurance.
Damn.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
I
he
didn't
sold
know
that. He doesn't even do that anymore.
Right after he made his money. So
come on.
Nobody's innocent here. I don't know what his company was playing, but I know the insurance game is full of just greed and dirt and besmirchment.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's not fair. We don't have money to be, and that's part of the problem. Nobody has money. Like, we're talking boycott companies. Do this, do that.
Like, I can't boycott.
I ain't got the money to do it.
Because that's the thing is, if I boycott the mechanics, I won't be able to get to work.
Right.
So I can't pay any of the other bills.
Go to a different mechanic. What do you mean? Or boycott one specific mechanic?
Oh, well, no, that's the issue is because I had to have just an oil change done recently. And I can do an oil change, but a lot of times I'm just like, freaking, it's just annoying. I was like, can you just do this and get it done for me?
I have to dispose of the oil.
Right.
I gotta buy
yeah. It's so annoying. So I was like, okay. And you know, this is what always baffles me whenever I need to send my vehicle in to get work done is I cannot think of a place that I feel safe taking it to. I can't.
I thought, Jared, didn't you have a place to take it?
Like, I struggle. I'm like, I start looking and I'm like, no. There's a place that does oil changes. I'm not gonna say what it is, but it's right by where I live. I could have walked there, and I was like, "No way, I'm going there." I was like, "There's no way I'm going there." It didn't even occur to me. I was like, I know they're dirty."
Well, they've been caught on camera publicly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, upselling people and tampering with things, and
right. And so it's like, and they're still, they're still in business. They're still
like,
kicking.
oh, we'll put this new thing in. They'll take the old part out, put it right back in, sell it to you, sell you the part that was already.
So
I saw a couple videos of that where it was that specific company, but
yeah. I just can't,
yeah.
Because that's the thing is, like, as an employee, I like to tell this story just to, like, put it in perspective. Like, I was driving through the grocery store parking lot one day, and I was trying to park. And there's these people that were, like, walking really slow in front of me. And I was like, can you move? I'm like, you're in my way, right? I finally find a parking spot. They move. I get into the spot, grab my stuff, get out of my vehicle, I'm walking in, and then immediately these other cars around me was like, hey, I'm walking here. And I just completely switch. Like, I don't care that you need to park now. I just care that I need to walk. Right? And before that, I was like, I'll run you over. I'm getting in this parking spot.
Get across this parking lot, I'll kill you.
And so at the same time,
we
like,
talked about that a lot. It's just perspective.
Yeah, it's like, as an employee, I'll advocate, because you have to, for your own pay. And then that'll drive up prices in a business. That'll hurt consumers, of which you're consumers of a different business and those employees. But it's also sometimes too, it's like, it's not the employees. Like, I'm not saying they're solely responsible for this, but the business owner is like having a lot of like need to drive profit, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, the employees getting their pay and that being fairly passed down to the consumers, I'm fine with. If you want to raise and your boss says that needs, all right, this is going to transfer now to every client that comes through here, I'm fine with that. But they're doing more. It's like, okay, instead of your oil change being $50, we had to give all of our employees a raise this year. Now everybody's oil change is $65 or $70. I'm okay with that. But why am I walking out of here with a $200 bill? Where did that come from? Where'd the miscellaneous shit happen on this bill that you guys are just slapping on there for no reason?
I charge you for everything. I got to charge you for disposing the oil. I got to charge you for new filters. I got to charge you for freaking air filters.
I got to charge you $13 for a baby aspirin.
There's some aspirin in there too. I got to charge you for that.
And how does it get fixed? A bullet. 1 to the dome, brother, and 2 to the chest. Before God. Sometimes that's how it gets fixed.
I don't know if a triple tap is what we're fixing.
They don't seem to understand anything else, and no one is fighting for the average people.
Well, this dude is apparently.
Well, that's the thing is we're all fighting to not be the average people. We're not fighting for them. We're fighting to just leave that class.
We're like, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to go buy a ticket and try to get out of this.
I'm going to get that Corvette that this guy has.
Yeah, it's dirty. I don't freaking like it, man. That thing pissed me off. The CEO thing, it pissed me off because of how much effort they're putting into it, and nobody's putting in the same effort to look into these companies that are scamming people and killing people every year. It hurts.
Well, how about on this podcast, we're going to shout out that company.
Which one?
Yeah.
UHC is what it is?
Yeah, shout out UHC.
We're going to shout them out and be like, you need to get investigated because we think you were doing something dirty and we want to know.
We all want you to
know.
We
all want to know.
Read the comments,
Who do they
buddy.
need to get invested by? Like corrupt NYCPD?
They need to be investigated by lawyers. I think lawyers.
Do lawyers do investigations?
Oh yeah, lawsuits get filed, man.
Well, that's
People
the thing
get
is,
sued.
if we can make enough, because a lot of the stuff they do is public information. You look in these comments, right? There's a lot of stuff that you can just find out. So if we get enough public knowledge out there that they're doing crazy amounts of stuff, then the lawyers can sue them.
But here we are putting that out.
Which lawyers though?
Any lawyer?
Who's hiring the lawyer? Just a random firm decides to sue with no client behind them. We're just suing
any person that's been disaffected. Because what we need is we need an overwhelming amount of evidence to make it so ridiculous that now you're gonna get sued.
Yeah,
and that's how you're gonna be held accountable. Because we can't rely on these corrupt government institutions to do the investigation. You're getting sued.
Right. Listen,
this is a lawsuit. I think that's what we have to do. That's I think that's RFK Jr.'s plan for fixing the health food system, the food system. He said, we're just going to put enough science out there. He said that the lawyers can sue these companies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, makes sense.
Yeah, some state's attorneys need to get involved in this.
You know? I think that's a good idea.
Oh, this is live. I'm watching traffic move. I'm like, oh, it's not an image. It's just drone. It's more drone footage. So there's cars driving down the road. The boats are actually moving.
Stuff would slide in the screensaver.
That's clean. Where is that at?
Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. I need to go to Tokyo one of these days.
It'd be nice to go there one day.
The seafood freaks me out, though.
Chinese Communist Party. Just don't eat one of the squid, whatever you call it, calamari or whatever they call it.
Why not?
You get choked to death and die. A lot of people have.
If they're alive, you seen those videos where they're swallowing live
yeah,
octopus?
It's alive and they start choking. I'm like, yeah, he's alive.
Why don't you...
Who's that guy on Pirates of the Caribbean? The one pirate,
Davy Jones or whatever.
That's what they look like when they're eating that squid. They pop him in, and the squid's freaking tentacles are hanging out of their mouth, still doing all this.
Yeah. I don't understand that. I think that's a little bit of animal cruelty because I'm like, if I kill it, does the taste change substantially? Because this is torture.
Wait,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's just his tentacles they're eating, and the tentacles are still animated. Are they alive?
No, it's alive. Some of them are alive.
Yeah,
because
how's
it alive when it's disconnected?
They tell you the squid will try to kill you on the way down. You better eat him quick and chew him up and try to kill him as he's going down.
I mean, I want my food fresh, but I don't want to hunt at the dinner table.
Yeah,
do you get my meaning?
Yeah,
this is different.
That's these people.
I want you to slaughter it for me.
Yeah, that doesn't.
I still want it fresh, but I don't.
You can get sushi here, but you're not. There's no calamari. There's no uncooked calamari.
Yeah, we're freaking landlocked. If you show me, I'm like, where did this come from?
If anything on my plate is moving, we got a problem.
Here's my thing. I don't want to see food that looks like it did alive.
Yeah.
Chop it up. Get rid of the appearance of a live animal on my plate. Like they'll serve a whole fish. You seen that? It's the head, everything, the tail. They just put it on a plate. Throw some damn lemon slices on there and seasonings, and I'm just looking at the fish like, man, this is crazy as hell. There's eyeballs in there still. Like, can't you cut? I need a fillet.
Seems like
brother.
you did less work, and I'm paying more.
Yeah, we drizzle a little bit of stuff, and we charge the hell out of you for it.
Yeah.
Like the calamari thing. I went and ate at a restaurant one time, and we were eating this calamari.
You see the suction cups?
Yeah, dude. They pulled out the brain, or like they pulled out like the top portion of the squid, like his head, basically. But then the whole squid itself, like the tentacles, everything, and still the shape of the body was all still there. And they just threw it in batter and fried it. So while we were eating it, I was like, the batter was coming off, and there's just a tentacle under there. And I was like, oh. I was like, what the hell is this? And then we started pulling off all the batter, and it's just squids on the plate. And I was like, I immediately got turned off and wanted to throw up.
Well, that's the thing is,
fresh seafood,
for us especially, because we, like, our American diet is very different than like a lot of these other like cultures.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like it doesn't look appetizing. A squid does not look appetizing. An octopus doesn't look delicious.
It's crazy to those people. It does.
Like to me, like. And most animals don't.
Like, the whole
like if I look at a cow, I'm not thinking,
What about a roast pig that's spit roasted?
Spit roasted pig?
That's the thing. The whole pig.
No,
he's there with an apple in his mouth.
you cut parts of it off.
Yeah,
though.
you just cut
but I don't want to
succulent
see
parts of pork off inside.
You don't want to see his face?
Yeah, I don't want to see him on the spit roast, fully formed, and you slice off a piece of his side and bring it to me.
I'm okay with that.
No, I'm not cool with
like
that.
the old school, like a feast or something.
Well, because the equivalent to me would be like you give me a little pig that you like that's this size, and
Wilbur?
you just deep fried Wilbur, like fresh out the womb, and you're like, this is a tender like newborn pig, and you just got the whole pig, like there's hooves. I'm like, nah, hold on.
Cut into his side. I feel like I'm still killing a living creature. I'm not that person. I can't. Nah, bruh.
Yeah.
I'm out on all that. Yeah, it's food. Food is weird for me. I need it to not look like it did alive. That's my thing.
Yeah, ground beef.
Ground beef.
What else can you can
This
get
is no
normal food
longer
in
a cow.
Tokyo? You can just get regular stuff like rice and.
I'm sure you can.
Regulars.
I'm sure you can.
You don't have to get calamari. Yeah, for sure. But.
Call it a day.
Just know that though, when you're getting calamari next time, maybe pull off some of that breading and look at what's
or maybe
underneath.
don't.
I don't actually get calamari, but I've heard people talk about it.
It's good if they just give you the individual. They rip off the tentacles and deep fry them, and it looks like a little onion ring thing, and it's delicious. It's got meat in there. You don't dig too deep into it. It's like, yeah, this is great, and it's tasty, but don't fry me up the whole little squid and show it on the plate, and there's like pieces missing, and I see a tentacle. We pulled off all the breading too and rinsed it off. It was just a squid, a little baby squid. Then we brought it home to the cat, and he just ate it. He loved every second of it. Tito, I was like, you
Tito,
just lost some respect for you, Tito. So, yeah, man, it's a weird world that we live in.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this UNC story. We don't get too crazy with the healthcare stuff. I don't go to the hospitals much. The last time I went to the hospital was because I had COVID. Felt like I was going to die. And then I went to the hospital because I could barely walk.
Can you smell
I was like,
now?
something's wrong. No, my sense of smell has still been affected. I can't really smell that well. My sense of taste came back, but my sense of smell is still muted. So I can't really smell that well. And then I can smell citrus.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes that's what comes across. If it's like citrus and other things, I'll smell citrus. But not
should come back over time, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard years though for some people.
Imagine if it doesn't. Imagine if you can not smell anymore.
Yeah,
that would actually be great for you. Well, I'm not gonna say it. I'm about to be real dirty from the floor to the ceiling, brother. Before
you talking about protein intake?
Yeah, if you came across a fish, Susan,
what
you couldn't smell, Seth. I'm just trying to throw this out there, okay? You couldn't smell, so you'd be good to go, brother. You can't smell. You don't know the difference before God.
That means.
I mean, can we not edit this podcast?
I mean,
How are you asking us to edit it?
after you
were
just
supposed to
dirtied
edit
it.
I'm telling you, Seth, you could hook yourself up with some lot lizards, brother, and it would all be good.
The hell's a lot lizard?
Don't ask questions like that.
Truckers, brother.
Truckers?
Lot lizards, yeah. They're the hookers that hang out in semi-truck parking lots, and they service all the truckers. All of them.
Jared, you were a trucker.
I was, and I'm not going to deny. I mean,
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
You kept this dirty after Silas asked you to keep it clean.
Oh, man.
I never actually saw during my trucking years.
Yeah, I'm like, is that a real thing? I don't go to
They're
truck
real.
stops, so
I never saw one, though, because I was never at the major truck
for him
stops.
and he didn't see him.
Well, what's it look
looking.
like? It's just a random lady walking around a truck stop?
Yeah, they walk around just like a hooker will walk up and down the boulevard in one of these big cities. They just walk through the parking lots. Sometimes they'll hop in a trucker's truck. They'll do their thing. He'll pay them. Then they'll be like, let me use your CB radio. So they'll come across the CB to all the truckers in the lot and be like, hey, this is Susan. I'm over here in the whatever. They're pretty good at their craft, but they're dirty creatures, man. You know what a truck driver looks like? Those fat bastards with unwiped underwear. So, I mean...
Man, this conversation took a dirty turn.
I actually respect hookers.
What?
Do you not respect hookers for what they have to do? Just think about it now.
What do you mean respect? I think respect
no,
is
we
not
live in
the right
America.
term.
I admire their ability
No.
to not care about smells of things.
Is that admirable?
Well, I mean, they're doing
It
the
means
Lord's
they don't-
work, brother.
Are they?
They're doing Satan's work straight up.
But imagine a fat, nasty Ethiopian truck driver comes rolling in. You know they wear those red basketball shorts and their feet look gross. They're wearing sandals. Imagine you go knock on his door and you have to do things with this dude for like $50. Imagine the level of gut it takes to be that woman, man. I don't think we give enough respect to our average hookers in this country. I'll be real with you. And I've advocated in the past. Me and Skis have done podcasts, and I've advocated. I'm like, why don't you just make, what's the word? Prostitution legal. So yeah, these women can clean up their act a little bit, and it's more of a professional. Because then dudes, they wouldn't just have to be in these gritty, dirty, nasty situations.
They can now. Just go do OnlyFans.
I also think in New York City they made prostitution legal.
That doesn't surprise me.
Which is clean, man. I'm planning to visit. I mean,
what?
Are we still recording? Besides the light on,
You got to cut this out. Yeah, that light's on.
This is clean.
Edit that out.
Does nobody?
I'm not
agree
going to
with
New
me?
York. 3 people die a week. They just get murdered.
Yeah, you're not a CEO. You're good, brother. Are you? Clean
know.
Asian CEO.
So I run a company called Biotechnica, and I'm not going to New York. Also,
Respect the
Arasaka
hookers.
Incorporated sellers, I own that
Respect.
too.
Much respect to all the hookers in the world.
These are fake companies I'm listing, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware.
But yeah, I don't want to go to New York just because the crime rate's through the roof. Jay, you ever heard Kevin? He's like, I'm not going there.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Not
Get
now.
your car jacked or something. Yeah. I
Pay
don't know. We started
egregious.
talking about truck drivers. And some of those guys, did you ever... I used to deadlift a lot, and I don't anymore because I threw my back out one time. And
He threw it in there.
I hurt my back. And then I went to this massage place, and
Oh, what?
it actually helped me out. But when I remember I was leaving there one day, I went there a couple times. My back started feeling good. I just stopped deadlifting because I was like, whatever, I don't want to hurt my back anymore. I was walking out, and there was this this huge, like, he had to be about 350 pounds, like a ton of acne. He was like balding. He looked sweaty and greasy. He was in the little lounge that you could have like tea or coffee or water and sit there and wait for people to, whatever.
You're not to throw in the balding thing. That's just, you always do that.
No,
He can't control that, chat.
He can control his hygiene and his weight to
Oh,
a
he was
degree.
gross? He looked gross?
Yeah, he just everything.
So what, you're saying some lady had to massage
Yeah, I was
him?
like, he's gonna be in
I
there
know.
just super hairy and greasy and.
Respect the women, man, that have to do stuff like this. Respect them. Respect the hookers. Respect the massage therapists. Respect the masseuses. I didn't know there was a difference between massage therapists and masseuses for the longest time. A masseuse will give you the happy ending that you seek, brother. Massage therapists, they're more professional.
I don't think that. Well, I heard there was a place.
Sai has distanced himself from this podcast. Put him on camera right now. Show him. He's away from the mic. He's out. He's
there was a place
clean.
on that got raided recently, but it's not legal. But there was some massage parlor up north, I think, that got raided because there was allegations or something.
Yeah, because the police are criminals, man. Let the men have some peace, brother, before God. I am advocating for hookerism to become legal. I'll throw it out there. It should be a legal
I do think it would be
practice. Wouldn't it be beneficial for men, especially what do you call incels? What do you call those dudes, right? Who can't get a girl? You can go to the massage parlor. Some Asian woman who's getting paid.
We could talk about whether or not it's actually beneficial for society for men to think that they should just, instead of becoming attractive to women, and they should just pay.
Not all men. Women. Some men. There's always going to be dudes who can't. Somebody's got to flip the burgers, brother.
No.
What?
No.
You think every man can get a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if she's gross?
If they clean, if you get your act together, you can.
What if the girl you can get is gross?
Then you got to get your act together and get someone who's not gross.
Yeah, but dudes can't. Throughout history,
why can't you get your act together? Why can't you get it together?
I refuse to go to the gym. I like McDonald's.
Well, we're not.
I mean, genetics play a role in it too. Have you ever seen somebody?
No,
you just got dealt a really bad hand.
No, but Seth, no one has to be disgusting.
Yeah.
No one has to be disgusting. You can shower. You can.
Dang, man.
I swear you can.
You can.
All right. We're talking the people you described are people that don't shower. There's no genetic barrier to showers.
This is true.
What about the fact that he was just unattractive genuinely, and he was balding, and his height. He was
hey,
short.
Andrew Tate's balding.
Yeah.
Why can't you just be in shape?
Sorry, we can't all be professional kickboxing champions.
You don't need to be a kickboxing world champion
with a Bugatti. So.
You don't need to have a Bugatti. Corey doesn't have one.
I think just an average dude.
Corvette. He's got that freaking luxury truck and the huge house.
Seth, right now, I want you to find a way to.
There is no way, brother. We're here
here's
now.
The
this
thing.
is the After Dark
No, but here's
show.
the thing. Don't we
Send
all
your emails to btgsquad128@gmail.com.
Don't we all know average or below average dudes that have girlfriends? I know them.
Yeah, and their girlfriends are cheating on them, brother.
With me.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Clean this up.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do know average guys. Some dudes get lucky, Si. Man, pan the camera to Si. He is paused. He's been besmirched more than enough times in this episode. Wait, what was your point?
Like these dudes who think the dudes who think they can't get a woman to care about them genuinely, and they think they have to pay women. It's like if all the women. This is something Jordan Peterson said that I really like. He said, if all the women are rejecting you, it's you.
Damn.
He said, it's your problem. It's not all the women.
Yeah, it's you.
Right.
You can take a shower.
You can. And you know what's crazy? Apparently dad bods are in. You don't have to be in Andrew Tate shape. All these women are talking about that. Okay, get a dad bod, which means not obese.
Yeah, but those women will say that, and then their actions speak differently. They're going for the 1%.
They say dad bod. What they actually mean is someone who's in shape but looks like they're on a bulk and they don't have abs. That's what they're talking about.
And when they do like those videos where they're asking,
I still got abs. Whatever.
So shut up.
You threw it in, didn't you, brother?
I'm on a bulk.
Find a way.
So I was eating a burrito.
Hey, Seth.
Where there is no way, brother. Find one.
Find one, or I'll make. Hey, no. Find one, or I'll make one for you.
With God, there is.
Find
a way.
one, or I'll make.
Threaten me on this.
Find one, or I'll make one.
So there will be a way
have
made.
Corey come in here and rough you up
Through the darkness.
You think
a
Corey's
way
gonna
will
help
be
you?
made.
He's outside right now.
I bet if you call him right now, he won't even answer the phone.
The man wouldn't answer.
Wouldn't answer the phone.
Is he working right now?
He's besmirching himself, probably at home and some other.
I was gonna call, but I don't know.
No, I think he's
so it's just said you wouldn't pick up. So
I think he's at work.
He'll probably answer if I call.
Actually, I think he's at work.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
I think this myself, Corey.
I think this is an issue that we could fix if we just got
legalize.
It
I agree. Men should.
Well, I don't. Well, here's the thing.
Don't you think?
When you legalize things,
shouldn't all men level up? I do agree with that.
Yeah, but when you legalize things, I do think like it would get better, because a lot of the allure of that particular type of interaction is that it's taboo. And when you legalize it, a lot of that goes away. And I think the standards, because it would be, you could hold it to like standards of actual care, like laws and everything. The whole thing's illegal. So everything about it is going to be dirty, right? But if you legalize it, then we can have standards, we can have regulation, we can make sure that the women are at least safe in some kind of
clients are not
right.
That's
So
all I'm saying.
So I think it would make it better. However, I don't think the system itself is ethical. I don't necessarily.
No, I'm not talking ethical. I
right.
believe in
It would
God.
get better if we legalized it.
You made a good point as far as some people do stuff because it's illegal.
Yeah.
If they're doing drugs, sometimes I've heard that, or they're doing,
Yeah, so let's
whatever.
say we legalize prostitution. What would then be the next dangerous thing that people would do sexual-wise that's like, oh, this is the new crazy thing that we got to get involved in because
Well, there's
it's
certain things we
illegal.
can't legalize. We can't legalize human trafficking and things like that, and that's always
Can we not legalize human trafficking? Hey, man, can we keep this podcast clean?
Well, we would have to legalize it like on a global scale.
Like now slavery's back in, basically.
Yeah, we can't do that.
I mean, I see your point. You have
Yeah.
a valid point. I can't even argue it at this point. Yeah, but prostitution should be legal, brother.
I don't know if it should be legal.
Yeah,
it would improve the standards of these interactions, and it would improve the quality.
It would help
of
women.
these people. Yeah, but I don't think that would still. I don't think it'd be a good thing. I think if we just got rid of it. But the issue is that people are going to do it anyway. So, I mean, and part of it is too is like the idea that you exchange something for a relationship is how relationships work. It's just that this is strictly like a one-time physical transaction.
As a man, you have to understand that, though.
What do you mean?
Have you never felt the tingle down below and you're like, listen, I don't want a girlfriend, but this has got to go away, brother. I mean, hey, listen, this is the After Dark show. Send your emails to btgsquad128@gmail.com, please, so we can respond live, on camera, on air. We will keep it clean. Not really, though. I'm not saying that we're going to keep it clean. I won't maintain. Sorry, not every man has the level of discipline, right? When the devil comes calling, brother, late at night. When the devil calls, and he does call. I'm holding church here today. When the devil calls, some men who don't have God will answer the call of the devil.
Yeah.
What's the point you're making with that?
I'm saying you're talking about exchanging relationships for stuff, right? I'm saying dudes are different. They just need a quick fix sometimes to get over it, and get through it, brother. That's where prostitution comes in handy.
No, but
I think mental health in men, I think it would boost. I can't. Well, here we go. Because in some countries, right, prostitution is legal. Like, in some countries, prostitution is legal. And if you just give men the opportunity, brother, before God, after him, I'm talking BCAD here, okay? If you would just give men the option, right, to clean themselves up before God, just every now and again. It ain't got to be every day. But sometimes just having the option. I'm losing my point here. I lost track of what I was getting at.
So it's checked out on us.
Checking back in. Somebody mentioned Jordan Peterson. It'll bring him back on track.
I was like, I don't know how we got into prostitution stuff. Going back to Craven too, I'm gonna take it in a whole different direction.
Man,
I was like,
damn.
his whole look. You know what? I was like, he's running after cars and stuff, and he's working out. He wanted to be Alex Hormozy so bad, but he
How
can't.
dare
do it.
you, sir?
He wanted
Alex
the beard
can't
and the
do
hair.
what Craven can do.
Alex has got more gains, and he's got.
I knew Seth was going to slide
more money.
gains in here somehow.
More money.
So, Seth, if that guy put on like 30 pounds, bro, he would outdo Alex Hormozy in every way.
No, he'd be like me. He's 185 right now. He'd be 225.
How do you know he's 185?
How much is Alex Hormozy weigh?
I don't know.
I mean, he's usually closer to like 220. I think he's a little bit lighter
wouldn't you,
now.
Si?
Well, he just did a video.
Yeah, you just
Well, Alex
watched
is
it.
he's like 5'10" or whatever, 5'11", right?
Like 5'11", yeah.
Yeah. So he's not. Yeah.
5'11" is basically 6 foot. Why do we keep saying
away.
that? Once he puts shoes on, the man is 6 feet.
Yeah, if you get a little
Damn, that's
smaller.
kind of crazy. Alex is a superhero at some point. Got the cash. He's
got everything.
Physique. Yeah, the man's clean, and he refuses to shave his chest.
Is he religious?
Is he religious? He's not.
What's his affiliation with?
He used to be Christian.
He used to be?
Used to be, yeah.
Now he renounced his faith in God.
Amen. Before what?
Uh-huh.
You threw that in there, and I actually agree with it, but I had to pull it back because I wasn't sure. Thought you just threw that in there. Did he besmirch God? Brother?
Wait, what's the reason he renounced his faith? He's like, I don't believe in God.
Did he?
I don't know if I'm really.
He renounced.
I shouldn't speak too deeply on that, but he said. He asked a question. He said, to deny people entry based on like belief or unbelief. He said it's not a matter of like whether or not people believe. He said belief is a spectrum. He said it's about how much do you believe.
To deny people entry into heaven is what?
It's like wrong to
He said
deny
it didn't
people?
make sense to him.
He's questioning God. Oh man, God's gonna burn you for that one, brother.
Well, I don't know what his stance is right now.
Yeah.
We better get right.
Because that was an old video I watched.
Yeah, because, I mean, Andrew Tate's Muslim, but then Tristan's Christian. And he's getting in his supercar late at night to go praise Jesus Christ.
Which is not Muslim.
Are you talking at the ceiling and at the floor?
No, he's going to the church. He did a video where they went to church.
A bunch of supercars going to work. Praise God, praise Jesus. I saw that video. It was hilarious.
He's like, that's what we're doing tonight. And he's like, yep. He's like, all right, praise the Lord. And the guy was like, let's go.
And they went.
Yeah. Andrew Tate going to church. Yeah, I think it might be that first one.
Yeah, that's the top
That's
one.
the short one.
Man, where's my headphones? Because he's funny.
Yeah.
So we are going to church. So it's midnight and we're going to worship Jesus.
Yeah. Is that like the whole community?
The whole community. Everyone in this country will go out. So we're a bunch of guys getting in their supercars on a mission to go and praise Jesus. Basically, yeah. Praise the Lord. Let's go. Amen. So we are going to church.
Praise the Lord. Freaking music ruined it.
Yeah, they kind of put some lame music on that one. I've seen betters.
Yeah. They did that.
Nothing more inspirational than dialing up with your boys in a bunch of supercars and taking time out your day to go and praise the Lord Jesus Christ. Doesn't get better than that, does it, Bailey? It does.
I mean, what a life. I don't know if that music's going to get me banned.
The top, whatever, 1% of men.
Oh.
Just financially, you also
I said
set
G.
yourself apart.
Oh.
Then if you're also tall and you work out and you keep yourself clean.
So shut the
That also
find a way,
adds
brother.
something to it too. If you got a clean beard.
But here's the thing.
I mean, this is true. I cannot deny.
I mean, you know. That's been your pursuit.
So I was kind of baffled in this show. He doesn't know which direction to go. He said, here's the thing. You guys are going to post this. And I've been involved somehow. Hey, we all maintain Silas is clean and everything, okay? In this show, this show does not represent Silas's opinions and beliefs.
Yeah.
He has distanced himself from the show. This is the After Dark special, okay? We're just here having a hangout on the podcast. Send your emails to btgsquad128@gmail.com. Questions, comments, crazy stories, send them.
Ooh, that's interesting. You know what? I'm going to...
It's fun to read crazy stories in the
I'm going to start
to.
sending in anonymous.
Do it, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to respond to them. They're clean.
I'll know exactly how to twist them, too. It's going to be
I'll know who wrote it.
You won't.
I got some real stories I could say that are crazy, but I would anonymously put them up. Most crazy
Because they're dirty?
Yeah.
No, well,
Because you're dirty in the story?
no,
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Corey's dirty. Whatever.
See, why do you throw...
He threw our boy under the bus. Didn't have to. He wasn't even involved. Seth brought him into the scene just to take him out under the bus.
He brought him in, laid him down, ran the bus over him, and took him out and thought we wouldn't notice. The whole scene he laid out just now. But he slid it in only a couple of words.
It was a scene that added nothing to the plot, too. Just
Really
had to
nothing.
be done as far as Seth was concerned.
I'm just saying. You know.
Can you edit yourself in this show, brother?
Yeah, that'd be fun, though, just to get people's anonymous.
I've been trying to do that.
We're fans of the Hodge twins, right? We talk about that. Some of the stories they got, I was like, I think this might be fake. I'm not sure. I think people just wrote up whatever they think.
Yeah, once they started getting, like, there was a stepsister show they did. He's like, my stepsister's.
No, that's not even what I'm talking about.
No, but I'm
no,
saying
his biological sister that he was working out with or whatever. Remember
right.
that?
Yeah. Some of those things, I think once they started getting bigger, people will just make up a story and send it in because they just want to hear him talk about their stupid little story on
and have Kevin say something crazy in the back.
Still made great content, though. I loved every one of them.
Do you remember that story, though? He's like, he didn't even get into the story of what happened. He just said, we work out now. Like, we're in high school now. We work out, and I'm into lifting weights and cardio, so I have abs and stuff. And Kevin was like, stop.
I remember, yeah. We all know what he said. We all know what he said next.
I don't remember that one.
Jared, what did he say? He jumped to a conclusion that
Straight
was correct.
to it, huh, brother?
He jumped at the correct.
I can imagine what Kevin would say.
Yeah.
Throw that out.
Kevin was like, why do I have the feeling where this is going?
Oh, yeah. I think I do remember that one.
And then he went to the next thing that he said. And Kevin was like, or it wasn't even Kevin, it was Keith. He's like, I've been on this planet for like 30-something years or 40
never
years.
Said,
He's
yeah,
like, I've never said this.
I know.
He's like, it's never came out of my mouth. There's no reason for that to ever come out of my mouth.
Yeah, some of them are made up 100%.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way you're a dude and you have a twin. It was his twin sister. It wasn't even like a regular sister. It was his twin sister, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Remember, he's like, I hope she doesn't look like you, man. I couldn't do it.
It was a clean show.
I'm like, that was fake. I think that was fake, and some other stuff was fake. That they just
100%.
It's like fan fiction. You just make some up and send it out.
Makes for a great story, though. If you guys want to make up stories and send them to us, send them. I'll read about it. It's great content for me.
Well, you want them to tell you it's fake, or do they just pretend like
no, just don't tell me it's fake. Then I ain't gonna read your email live on BTG Squad. You tell me it's fake, I won't even post it. Just try to trick me.
that'd be interesting. I wonder how many of those were real, because there were some crazy ones where I was like,
I mean, the world is a crazy place.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
This podcast has proved all of that.
So we've maintained ourselves throughout this whole show. What
I've maintained me.
Hour and a half, man. Damn. Brief intermission. I need to piss.
Yeah,
I can keep the show going if you guys want to keep talking. If not, I can cut this all out until I get back.
Game developers and movie directors in Hollywood and the way they their hiring practices and the way they want to. Yeah, they went woke. And they're forcing people to take the DEI inclusionary course if you want to remain at this company, basically. And a lot of people were resigning from these companies.
Well,
a lot of key players and like, oh, no wonder these games suck now. I was like, I'm not even playing them anymore. And I'll just watch trailers and reviews. I'm like, I'm not playing it.
That's because you're a bigot.
I think my issue is just that.
No. I'm like, the previous games were inclusive. I told Silas that. I don't have any problem with that. When you have to shove it down our throat all the time, and then you got to make every single game, the main characters and the good people are always black people. They're always minorities, or they're women, or they're whatever, and or gay people or trans people. When it comes to the new title, they had a bunch of, they had like a trans character too. I was like, what? And the bad guys are all white dudes.
Well, my issue is none of this up. Like, I don't care to exclude anyone necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just that with a lot of these things, I fear we lose quality when we make it a priority to hire for diversity along specific lines rather than competence within the relevant field.
Yeah, no kidding. Didn't she crash our $61 million boat?
I didn't fact check that, but
who?
Do you want to pull it up? I think I sent it to you.
I don't know. Did you send it to me?
Maybe.
She left the boat in like autopilot, and then while it was still in autopilot, she tried to control it.
That commander, ship commander in Australia?
Yeah. And she was a woman, and she was also gay or something, and they were like, all right, you're hired. And she crashed my goddamn boat.
Yeah, she ran it aground.
Oh. You think you could
warship
see the ground? Was there no one else on the ship that could
It seems like, yeah. Why is she
Like, is there a
solely-
second mate that can overrule?
Yeah, I
something?
feel like it was one of the kind of like
We
a
don't wanna pull it up.
Titanic
This is
situation,
Instagram, I think.
where like nobody wants to say anything to the captain. He's the captain of the ship. Like in her situation, she's a brand new DEI hire. They're like, listen, the PR on this is going to be a nightmare if I tell the captain, hey, you don't know what the hell you're doing. We're going the wrong way. You're about to run us aground
Can
and
I
kill
send
everybody.
this to you and then you can pull it up?
Well, I can pull it up right here on my screen. What's it called?
I just sent it to you on Instagram. Okay, well, it's saying New Zealand's first lesbian ship captain sees first warship sink. So she sunk it. It didn't say run aground. She just sunk it. Wait. Yeah, since World War II, the vessel was worth $61 million. It says she left it on autopilot, then tried to control it manually. Oh, the hot swit's covered this.
Look who comes up first.
Kevin.
In case y'all were wondering who I watch most often.
Well, we know the twins are out there.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. I don't know. Did she run it aground or sink it? Which one?
A
was
Melbourne
She
truckie.
sank it via running it aground.
She sank it via running it
Well,
into
how's
the
it sink
ground.
if it's on the land?
It's a clean sandbar, and it took out our buoyancy.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're done.
The ship was on fire.
Those sandbars sounds. I haven't heard like this, so this will be interesting to see. I just saw the clip you sent me.
Well, this is like a different. It's not even necessarily the story. The title of this is New Zealand's defense minister calls out online misogyny against the Navy commander. So I don't.
Oh, after she sunk the boat, then she's getting scrutiny.
It
and we're
is.
like,
It
this
is a problem to
misogyny.
me that we were not at war.
And she sunk
What
a
happens
ship.
if we'd have let you go out? How many of you are in the Navy?
She probably would have shot one of her own vessels. That's probably what would have happened.
Sounds yeah.
I just worry. Can we hire for competence, please? Dear God, because that's like, it's so important that you know what you're doing.
The good thing about this is this was a New Zealand vessel, so she
Yeah.
wasn't piloting an American ship.
Oh, thank God. So she's not destroying our boats.
Yeah, but we have our own problems, right?
Yeah, we're doing some stupid stuff over here too.
Oh yeah.
Truckee has copped a spray from New Zealand's Defence Minister for comments he made on social media. The Minister held a press conference this afternoon and called out the online hate and misogyny levelled at the captain of a Navy ship which ran aground in Samoa.
With her
Damn, what
Navy
a crazy
vessel stuck on a
video.
reef in Samoa, Commander Yvonne Gray made the call to abandon ship. Soon after, the boat caught fire and sunk. The life or death decision has been widely commended, but has also led to a torrent of misogyny and homophobia online.
I'm appalled to see the comments online from these armchair admirals. People who will never have to make decisions which mean life or death for their subordinates.
Their defense minister is this woman? All right.
This is Judith Collins, New Zealand's first female defence minister, today taking aim.
The one thing that we already
Starting to
know
notice a pattern.
did not cause it is the gender of the ship's captain.
Yeah, okay.
And she went further, tracking one down.
I took it upon myself to look up the details of one of the keyboard warriors, or the armchair admirals, as we now refer to them in my team. He's from Melbourne in Australia, commenting in a very negative way on our Royal New Zealand Navy, and particularly the women.
I mean, it was major
I
incompetence.
looked to see what else I could find about him. While he is someone who drives something, he drives a truck. And I think that he should keep his comments to people who drive trucks rather than to people who drive ships.
Finishing off the
That
salvo
might be
by
the
saying
stupidest
she
thing.
won't stop calling out
So if I
these
watch
kinds of
you
comments. Efforts to
capsize
clean
this
up the shipwreck
$61
are
million
ongoing.
ship, I can't say anything about it unless I
could-
drive ships as
'cause
well.
I don't
I'm
also
like,
drive
I
ships.
guarantee you it wasn't designed to crash. I guarantee you it wasn't designed to crash.
On God, it was.
She said the gender had nothing to do with it, and I'm just asking.
I'm saying, but it had something to do with.
Has any man ever ran their warship aground and burned it? How do you burn a ship in the middle of the ocean?
There's water everywhere.
There's water everywhere. Okay.
Oh God.
I mean, has a man ever done it? Because that's what I was expecting her to pull up. I was like, she's gonna pull up. Oh, these 3 or 5 other instances where males also ran their warship.
Not at war. Were they at war?
It's not like we're in peace times, brother. It's not like she was being chased by an aggressive other ship and they were doing. No, she was just cruising in the ocean. No need to do anything crazy. All she had to do was watch the damn radar. Oh, there's a reef right there. No, we're gonna run straight into it. I bet you the boat can go. It's like women. It's like the argument about women drivers.
The curbs.
Man. Oh man, it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible. And for her to be like, first of all, her being the defense minister, I still think it's hilarious because it makes more sense. It all makes more sense now.
And
I'm not being misogynist, but take it how you want to. In the honorable words of what's the man's face? He's like, be offended.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz, be offended. Okay, with whatever comments I'm calling out here. But if you're a truck driver, do they not have freedom of speech in New Zealand? She's like, if you're a truck driver, just shut the hell up and drive your truck. You can only talk about truck stuff.
Yeah. Don't talk about the ship.
Yeah, you have no opinion.
That we burned up. How do you
burn a ship, a warship in peacetime?
Explain that to. Do you
you
remember the Bad Boys movies? He was like, that expense report he got, he's like 61 cars and a boat. And he was like,
how did you sink a boat?
How did you sink a boat?
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Somebody's got to say it. They got to call it out.
A lot of people did, and really this is just her covering up for the DEI hire that they put in there. You know, it makes sense. You have to. I mean, you can't get up there and be like, yeah. She had not the proper training.
Yeah, no
she
previous
didn't have the qualifications. She was incompetent 100% at this job. We hired her. We threw her in the boat. The people were afraid to probably speak up on board because she's literally the first lesbian ship captain. And they're all just looking at I bet you they could see the reef through the water too. They were probably just looking at it like, I mean, should we say something? Who's driving this thing? And then they just run aground and everybody's just like, okay then. So here we are now.
Hey, we got those lifeboats or
we're on fire. How did you catch on fire? That's my thing.
Oil or something leaked and it caught, I don't know.
How did you catch on fire in the middle of the damn ocean in a warship? You ran it on ground on a reef. Did she get fired? Is she still there?
They can't fire her after they're coming out to defend her. That's going to look really bad. So.
Yeah. So they're probably just like, here, we'll give you another $61 million boat.
Just don't...
Go sink this one, too.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't. I hope she's not employed still. This is the Gulf...
Do you see that at the top?
The gender, yeah, here we go with this BS again.
The gender of the captain of the New Zealand Navy ship, can't even pronounce that, was not to blame for the ship sinking. The ship ran aground and sank due to human error. See, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It says it twice in there.
They keep throwing it in there.
Isn't that the AI?
They're like, by the way.
That's the AI rendering at the top.
Here?
No, if you scroll up a little bit. That's an AI overview. It gives you an AI overview. Wow. That's the AI summarizing what's been stated on the internet. It says it. Okay.
That's hilarious. Gulf Insider. I love the title. It always gets me. Lesbian ship captain runs aground and catches fire and sinks. Captain whatever Von Gray ordered the crew
with no previous ship command experience.
Oh yeah. Officials are investigating the circumstances that led to the sinking that was under the command of a lesbian captain with zero previous ship command. How? The incident is New Zealand's first naval loss since World War II, meaning no man has done this.
I feel like this is going to end up on a certain podcast.
What do you mean?
It's going to end up on another podcast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
It's going to be crazy.
I mean, you're not talking about the Hodgins. They already covered it.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Some speculate that the commander had been hired to satisfy diversity concerns despite her lack of experience. You don't cut your teeth on $100 million ships, responded one critic. Meaning you don't throw her out there and train her in a $100 million boat. Now we have an environmental disaster on our hands caused by the very people who are always crying about the environment. A ship worth over $100 million gone. And for what? Perversity? Iniquity? Perversity, iniquity, and delusion, replied another critic.
Who wrote this?
Man, that was clean. I'm sorry. It was a clean edit. I just want to.
He came across that report and all the money we lost and the environmental pollution. He was like, you know what? This is dirty.
I would just love to know what happened to the captain.
She's probably burning other ships right now.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I don't get it. It's the DEI thing, but they say the DEI thing has nothing to do with it. Listen, they're saying that was the first loss of a naval vessel since
1945.
Since World War II.
So what's that? 55 plus 25 is about 225. That's 80 years.
But it had nothing to do with the gender or the incompetence and the lack of experience of the captain.
It's true, it has nothing to do with the gender, but whether or not you hired them based on their gender and not their competence is the issue. You hired someone who wasn't qualified because you wanted to check a box.
Right. I feel like
at that point, I'm like, if you weren't trained properly, it's not even your fault. They didn't teach you. They just threw you on there. You had no business being on there.
Yeah.
That's what's the issue is the principle of just like, because do you know how pissed I would be if I found out I got a job? Because they're like, we got to have a black guy in the office. We just got to.
We got to do it.
I would hate that. It would tick me off.
And everybody would hate you, too.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to have him. It's good. It's good.
It's good for the image of
good optics.
You know? I don't like that.
But lesbians view this very differently. A lesbian man getting thrown into a $100 million ship, they probably celebrate that one.
Yeah, she's like, this is clean. I'm going to sink this real quick.
I'm going to sink this boat real quick. Dude, it's hilarious. I saw a post about Kamala's, the way she ran her campaign.
Isn't she begging for more money now?
Well, the way she ran her campaign, it was like someone said, we were going to hire this woman or pretty much vote her into office to run America's economy.
She bankrupted herself with this campaign.
She bankrupted her own campaign, and she walked out of it. They said she raised like $2.something billion, and she walked out in debt, 20 mil. 20 mil in debt at the end of it all. So she couldn't even properly run the economy of her own campaign.
Should have spent less time buying out celebrities and more time just doing interviews with independent media members.
Yeah, what does that tell you, man?
But she wouldn't sit down with Joe Rogan, Jared. Tell me why. He was like, I'll do anything. You know, anytime you got an open invitation, come to the show anytime. She's like, I can't do it because I just can't answer questions. And I know I'm going to get cornered and this isn't my platform, so I'm not going to get the chance to edit all the stupid stuff I say.
Yeah. J.D. Vance went on. Trump went on. I feel like if she had she went on.
Call her daddy or something stupid. Something really stupid.
Well, she went on that black dude, the football player, Shannon Sharp.
Oh, God.
She went on his show and did like an hour and got no views. I mean, I think they got like 1 million.
I didn't even know she went on that show.
Exactly, because nobody gives a damn.
It's a dirty show. No,
like she went on the show that didn't matter.
What they talk? Did he ask her any questions, or did they censor it and he just kind of steered away from the tough questions?
He did the classic, because I actually did watch the interview that Shannon Sharp did with her, or at least some of it. And you know what they did through the whole thing? He was like, they did the black thing, where it's like, you know, just laughing about, oh, ain't that sweet? Ain't that great? Oh, you're so great, your accomplishments, this and that. You know, they played that stupid little, we're just going to pretend like you're not a piece of shit. Yeah. Yeah, they did that.
It's called BS.
Let's see how many views that podcast got. I'm curious because Trump got like 52 milli in like a day. Yeah, here's the podcast. They did an hour and
36,000 views. That's it.
1.6 milli.
And Trump got 51.
Yeah, she got 1.6 milli on Shannon, and they did an hour and 3, which was more than she was willing to give Joe Rogan. By the way, she was willing to give Joe Rogan like 45 minutes. At best. What did that Trump one get?
I'll pull it up.
Trump JRE That podcast got 52 milli.
How long? It's 2 hours, 3 hours?
18 million for JD.
3 hours. JD Vance got 18 million, 3 hours. Right? It's like Kamala didn't have any answers to any questions. And everybody knows that, and that's why she didn't go on Joe. Joe's easy to talk to, man. He'll joke. He even said it. He'll joke around with you. He's like, we don't have to talk politics anyway.
He said, I just want to get to know you as a person.
Yeah,
I want to see past the...
humanize you a little bit and see if you have any substance to you. And he was like, we can talk about cats. I don't care.
Yeah.
She wouldn't do it. What does that
Can't
say?
do it.
What the hell does that say about Kamala?
Yeah, and he's like, we're going to let you negotiate with other world leaders and have control over the...
But you won't come talk to a little podcaster. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not a little podcaster.
He's like the biggest one on earth, but still.
This and this is what we get. We get lesbian ship captains that run $100 million vessels aground in New Zealand. Hey, thank God she wasn't piloting one of our ships since World War II, people.
My question to you guys, do you think, what's your experience? I'll keep my experience out of it. What do you guys think about just, obviously back in, what was it, World War whatever, X amount of men went to war. The women aren't subject to go to war. They're not subject to the draft. So some of them went into the factories and went into offices and worked in positions to keep the economy kind of running and stimulated while the men were, because otherwise, production just grinds to a halt. But now the workforce there's women go to the work. They all work now. Most of the workforce is inflated. And have you guys had positive experiences or negative experiences working with women? What's been your general experience?
I've worked with a lot of
you work with some good
really
women, right?
smart, like great ladies. Like I don't have anything bad to say about, like, because I've worked with some the gender of the person has no bearings on like whether or not I'm able to work well with them.
Yeah.
It's all down to the personality type. I have noticed one thing slightly, and this is not necessarily bad, but I do notice that the women I've worked with were more susceptible to be slightly more emotionally responsive. And that's not to say that they didn't have a reason to be upset, but I did notice that.
Yeah. It is.
But I did notice that. And to be fair, I think she had a lot of reason to be upset. She just didn't handle it the same way that a man would have handled it. Not that a man would have handled it the right way. It's just different. It's very different to watch how they handle the same situations.
Yeah, it's different emotions and different hormones and all that going on. Women do handle things differently.
They do, yeah.
I don't think they handle things in a way that they should be in charge of anything violent. Like you shouldn't be in charge of making...
So no warships, no $61 million
No, you shouldn't be
warships.
running a $100 million warship. You shouldn't be running the president's office. If you are susceptible to
emotional manipulation,
emotional decisions and manipulation, and you make us look weak as a country. But having said that, I think women, I've worked with women. I work with women now. Some women, super awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
Not all women are like the crazy people that we're talking about. There are many women who are incredibly capable of doing the job. They're great to work with. They actually make the work environment better, because they're there. Because no dudes just want to be constantly around dudes. It's good to have a woman there just to bring that little bit of...
It's some lightheartedness.
Yeah.
It's some positive energy.
Maybe you guys' experience. I guess I'll let you guys talk and then I'll go into... No. It's just real. It's just realism. There's some things that, like you said, women probably shouldn't be doing this because you physically can't do it, or maybe your emotional state is a little bit out of control. Because if you work in the oil field, I'm like, you just physically can't. Unless the men carry you. You physically can't do it. It's too heavy.
Oh, you're talking about like heavy lifting.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah, or just a certain amount of labor. After a certain point, some people just break. I saw that happen a lot. A lot of guys just, I'm like, just sit down. I'll take care of it. I was like, I got this.
Right, but okay, so in situations like that.
We didn't hire any women. They couldn't make it in the oil field. They would just quit and leave. It was like all men. And then I went to one rig specifically, and there was 2 girls on there. And there was so much drama and BS that was going on, and just like HR, people calling HR, and all this type of stuff. And then
But what's the drama stemming from? Is it the dudes that are giving them a hard time and they're feeling harassed?
I mean, I don't. That's the weird thing.
Guys will do that.
It's allegations. Then, if we have, and I'll tell you about a situation I had at work, and I was like, it's kind of weird how it happened. But back to the rig thing, because this is my current place, not when I was working on the rigs. But when I was on the rigs, it was the derrick hand. Because I was a derrick hand at the time, I was training in one of the other derrick hands, and because he was new to that position, I was training him in, and then the guy on nights was a derrick hand, and one of the floor hands was his girlfriend, I guess, and they would go out drinking and stuff. And one night she came back from wherever they were going out at the bars or whatever, and she told one of the site supervisor, tool pusher is what they were, be known as, that he assaulted her in some sort of way. But then he said he didn't do it. And so there was this whole back and forth between them. And then she left. She quit that position, the physical, and she went to the office. The girl that worked on our crew, I would watch her try to keep up with the men, and we would just kind of pick up the slack. She just couldn't do stuff. She couldn't do it fast enough. She just couldn't do it at all. Like, she wasn't strong enough to do it. So we wouldn't tell her that because we're all too nice, and she's been hired on. So I was like, guys, just pick up the slack. If she can't, they were like, oh, we'll do this, a lot of heavy lifting. And she was smart. She didn't have the physicality.
Yeah, well, was it hurting you guys to pick up that little bit of slack, though?
Yeah, because then it pulls personnel off of other projects I could have them on. Okay. And they got to be helping her. If it was just an average man, he could do it. I don't have to worry about him.
So do you think they should have fired her for that?
No, I don't think they should have hired her for that particular position. I'm like, you guys know how it is. If you've been out there and now you're in a position where you hire people, all the tool pushers know what it's like. That was a rough, brutal job. And from my standpoint, there was a number of days you guys almost died a number of times out there. I will say that.
From your own stupidity?
No, other people.
Other people?
Yeah.
I've heard you tell some stories where you did some stupid things, man, and you said,
that happened
too. Thought you were Superman. Now hold up. Thought you were Superman. You crawled in places you shouldn't have gone. You thought your powers are going to get you out. Clean Asian. Didn't happen that way. Right? I mean,
I was clean until I got hit in the face with that sledge. No. Yeah, I had a lot of other people do things, though, operating equipment, not paying attention. There was a guy that crushed my hand. A guy almost ran me over in a loader. I was watching him. I was like, I wonder how. I was like, oh, he's just looking at his phone. He's not paying attention to me. He's driving closer. I'm like, he's about to crush my leg. Let me see how close he'll get. I'm looking right at him. I tried to wave him down. So I stepped out of the way, and he runs into the wall. And I was like, were you watching what you were doing? I was like, I was right there. He's like, oh, no, sorry, I was looking at my phone. I'm like, but yeah, it's just a rough environment, and women just, she told me too, she couldn't even handle working derricks. I would say, I think Corey would agree, because the only other person who worked on is the hardest physically that you can do. She couldn't even do that position though, physically, without people helping her and just whatever. She just couldn't do it. And then she was like, she told me, I want to be a derrick hand. That's my end goal. And I was like, I didn't say anything. There was a bunch of other dudes in the room. We were sitting in this. It was a table like this. We have our meetings and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Certain things they shouldn't be involved in.
I'm like, and who's going to tell her? I'm like, do I have to be the one to tell her? Do I have to be a jerk and be like, no, you can't do it?
I don't think here's the thing.
I was like, can we be real with people?
It's not that women shouldn't. It's that most women can't physically compete at the level that they're demanding the men to work at. Right. And that's the thing. It's not that they shouldn't.
She got the bones in her face fractured is what actually happened. And I got told this by somebody that was there
are guys
after I left.
But there are guys that die out there too. It's not that it's just the job itself.
What happened to her? I would have walked.
It could have happened to a man.
Because it could have happened to me. It did happen to me. Stuff like that. But men have denser bones and more muscle mass. I got hit with a lot of stuff and just walked it off. None of my bones broke.
Okay, but that
no fractures.
But you shouldn't be getting hit with anything.
Yeah, but sometimes other people do stuff, Silas. I got hit with some stuff just because other people weren't paying attention. That's how I got a sledgehammer swung into the side of my head. That's
but you were not looking like you're walking around dudes just with sledgehammers, and everyone has to be, because I'm saying here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
if that happened to her, she'd probably be dead. Then we got our whole site's shut down.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that you're working around a lot of irresponsible and dangerous men who create a dangerous and hazardous work environment for everybody, men and women. So maybe these women
their hiring practices, they were desperate. They're like, we got to get bodies in there because people can't handle the work. It's so difficult, or they don't want to do it, so they twist off.
So the men are the problem in that environment.
No, just like
you
I'm
guys
saying,
are dangerous. You're out of control, maniacs.
but just the work, just the everyday work. Even if everything goes smoothly, there's a certain level of physicality you have to have.
Sure.
I understand that. Yeah, no, I don't disagree. But
there were women in the office, and they were great. They worked in the office,
right?
And they just, they did paperwork, and it was great.
Yeah, this
but
is an
them coming out to the
age-old
field.
conversation. Women cannot keep up with men physically. It doesn't matter what they say or what DEI people say. It's never going to be the case. But yeah, we'll still try to throw them in there from time to time. Sometimes you want to give a woman a chance, an opportunity.
Because you can't discriminate against like
that's the
gender
weird thing,
when
right?
hiring.
Are we not allowed to?
No, you cannot say we can't hire you because you're a woman.
That's the weird thing. We did have women come
and you shouldn't.
They would just quit like the same day or that week. They were like, "Oh, this is over."
Yeah, and that's what'll happen.
We were like, "Yeah, we'll give you a shot. Go ahead and do it."
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand here and watch you.
Yeah, there's instances where women need to also take a little bit of accountability and responsibility for them holding up a specific crew or a specific group of people. They don't seem to recognize that they're the problem in a lot of those situations. And that's the biggest problem, is that the women will just let you pick up the slack. The women will and they won't take themselves out of the equation. So yeah, when you're saying, oh, should I have told her, hey, you can't handle this, you need to go somewhere else. Yeah, you probably should have. Be nice about it. All the men probably should have been saying that. But if nobody's speaking up, how's she ever going to know? Like these people on this ship that probably watched the sandbar coming up, and they're like, I mean, should we say something? like, dude, she sees it, right? No? Nobody, and we're not going to tell her. We're just going to run aground. Oh, okay. All right. So it's like, yeah, women will not, because their pride, man, in a lot of these situations, their pride will, just like a lot of dudes, their pride will get you in places that you shouldn't be in. And if nobody's there to tell you, hey, man.
I've seen that too.
Like if I go to the gym right now and just throw on 400 and just lay there and try to bench it, and no big dude walks over and says, hey, buddy, let me spot you, or maybe let's take some of these. You don't look like you can pick that up. If they all just stand there and watch me, like, we're all the problem. Right? I should know that I can't handle this. They should know that they should stop me. So we all got to work as a group here. But I have to be able to accept the fact. I have to look inwardly and say, listen, Jared, you're not going to pick this up off the bench, brother. You're not making it. But if I'm too prideful or I'm too whatever to say that, then I deserve getting hit in the face with a sledgehammer, getting my jaw broke. I deserve getting choked out on the bench because I tried to bench 400.
So you remember that black dude? He's like, you're not built like this. Just quit.
You're
over.
Not that guy, pal. You're not that guy, pal.
He's like, what do you mean round 3? This is over. But the whole thing too, now going back to the current spot I'm in now. So I moved over to another company, whatever, won't say what it is. But they hired, they have your plant manager, he oversees the whole plant. Then there's a bunch of assistant plant managers that run different shifts. For day shift and night shift, there's an assistant plant manager for every shift. They're all men, but they hired one woman. I was like, all right, whatever. Because it's not that physical, and you can delegate stuff. So I was like, this is cool. And me and her actually got along really well when she got there. Other people were like, oh, she's incompetent. That's what I kept hearing. From the other guys there that worked with her closely, she didn't really interfere with my stuff too much. So I was like, whatever. She seems nice to me. We get along. We'll have conversations. And then she was ex-military too. Navy, I think. Or no. What's the other one? National Guard. Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like retired from there, and then she was, working here. And she was also like a single mom, I guess. She had a husband or ex-boyfriend, whatever, in some other state. And she left him and the kid to come here and work. It was like a weird situation like that. I didn't really ask her about it. I was like, whatever, it's not even my business.
Sounds like you asked her. You know a lot about this.
No, it was just other people told me stuff. And she talked about it too. She was like, oh yeah, I got kids and all this stuff. We would just talk while I was working. Some days she would just come up and talk to me. But she had this weird thing where she got like, I don't want to say it was emotional. One of my guys was like, oh, I'm going to go on, like he was going to go on break, like lunch break or do something else that we normally do. And you just tell the other people like, oh, can you cover me? I'm going to go rotate out. And she got all upset about it. She's like, oh, that's not how that works. This is she was in a management position, sort of like a trainee position. She wasn't even in there, but she took this weird stance and she was like, we don't do it like that. And I was like, yeah, we do. And then she started to try to change some of my stuff. Like I would leave a program running. Everything's autopilot.
Was she
there.
just objecting because it wasn't an official break? Is that
There's no official. It's just you just take a break whenever you want to. Pretty much. There's set times, kind of, but all the managers will tell you whenever you want to just take it. It's just a 30-minute break. You can take it right in the morning if you want. Just that's it though. So we usually time it out every 3 hours or whatever it is, but you don't have to abide by that. And
interesting. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, that's just how we do it. But yeah, she took a weird stance with that, and I was like, no, that is how we do it. And then she did something to one of my programs. If you go in and change something, then the machine runs a little bit different. I had it running perfectly smoothly. She walked up and touched a few buttons, just a giant touch screen, and there's a bunch of arms and stuff. I'm like, I had that set. I walked away. I was like, whatever. Maybe she just made some adjustments. Stuff. It was breaking stuff. It was like crashing and stuff. I came back. I asked one of the guys. I was like, what the hell is going on? They were like, yeah, she. He was like, I don't know. She went up there and did something, and now it's messed up. And it got to a point where me and her started to kind of get. I started to not like her that much because I was like, oh, okay. Like she would come around. And I was like, just don't touch my stuff. I was like, I got it running. I was like, last time, like just ask me before you go and do something. I was like, I don't know what you did, but you could go in there, make a slight change, and it'll mess everything up. I was like, I know how to run this stuff, and you don't. So just don't. She would try to like boss people around when she's not even in charge yet. It's just weird. Then one day she tried telling me what to do. She walks up and she's like, no, you can't do it that way. It's because it's unsafe or something. And I was like, how else am I supposed to do it? She's like, well, you got to do it like this. I was like, okay, show me. I took a step back because I knew what she was going to do wasn't going to work. She tried to do something like, it's like buttons you press, but I knew they didn't work. And I'm like, okay. So I took a step back and I'm watching her. She's trying all this stuff. It's not working. We're wasting all this time. And then she was like, oh, I guess it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't use that because it's.
So was the way you were doing it, is it unsafe?
No. It was just unconventional. It's just a manual way of doing something that's not, but everybody does it. All the managers do it. I know how to do it safely. You can if you do something really stupid, I guess you could probably get hurt, but I know what I'm doing. You guys know what that is. You take a certain amount of calculated risk and you do things the right way. And sometimes I'm like, oh, maintenance is going to fix that. But in the meantime, I want to keep production running. So I'll do X. And she's like, oh, you can't I would never do that, and all this stuff. But she couldn't fix it. And then she couldn't make it work. So I was like, she's like, oh, I guess you can just do whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then she ended up just quitting because I asked one of the managers there one night. I stopped in the office. I was like, what do you think about so-and-so? And he's like the nicest, most politically correct guy. He's also the smartest guy there and the best, like as far as all the managers. He's like, no, not going to work. Didn't even look. He was looking at his paperwork. He didn't even, no hesitation. He was like, yeah, I've already, he's like, she won't be here for long. I was like, what, are you guys going to fire her? He's like, no, she's supposed to be fired because she was late so many days too. That was another thing. She took a bunch of time off she wasn't supposed to take, didn't call in, didn't show up. And they kept giving her extra. They're like, oh, we'll knock off points. It's a point system, And then after a while, she just quit. And he was like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
So this is just kind of a crappy woman. It's not. Is this a gender
that's what it
thing?
Sounds like.
I don't know. Is
crappy
it
human?
Because I was like, I've dealt with
what
a lot
do you
of
mean? Is it
the guys don't act like that? There's a bunch of male managers. They don't.
One
act
thing I
like
like
this.
to throw in there is for us to think of our own.
I'm like, we know a lot of smart,
sisters,
good women, right? I'm like, they're not all.
Whenever
like this.
it's like I would never say any of these things about like female truck drivers. They suck.
Do some of them?
Right. Let's say that. Do we want to say that?
I don't know. I guess I don't know about truck drivers.
She's great at her job.
Female and male truck drivers.
Women do things differently than men to a certain extent, but there's a lot of great truck driver females. Yes. They can drive just like a dude.
Like there's crappy people everywhere.
Yeah, this
That's what
sounds
it seems like. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman.
Too, I guess they just weren't in management positions, and they told me, yeah, she wasn't really qualified. We just kind of gave it to her. And I'm like,
that happens all the time,
though. I'm like, all the
I can
guys
tell
said
you,
that, like
I can
the
tell you,
males had to work their way into a position.
I worked at a previous job, and we had a certain department, and we had a long-standing manager in that department leave, and the new hire, he was supposed to be very experienced. He had all the credentials, and he was nothing but utterly incompetent in every possible way, and a liar. And he would lie to me, and he would lie to me twice in my face. I was like, you said this 2 seconds ago, literally, and didn't blink about lying to me. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Baffled.
I was like, wait a minute. And I was looking over at my friend. I was like, Amber, did you hear that? It didn't make any sense. And so there's crappy people everywhere.
What do you mean he would lie and then lie about something else?
Yeah, because he played favorites with certain people, and certain people would have time off, right? that shouldn't have been approved or it wasn't accounted for because they were out of vacation days for the year. And so what would happen is he'd be like, oh, why is so-and-so not here today? And he'd be like, oh, well, so-and-so is sick. And then I kind of casually brought it up and he was like, oh yeah, I can't believe it. I was wondering why so-and-so wasn't here. He's like, yeah, they had something else that they needed to take care of. I was like, those are two different things. Two different things. Hey, and that was 2 minutes ago. We were standing over there and you gave me a different answer.
I like this guy.
This guy is dirty.
Sounds like a great boss.
Yeah. Now here's the thing is like, and the previous manager who was actually competent, whether or not you like their personality, was actually a woman. So the thing is that there's trash people, and trash does not discriminate based on gender.
Yeah, there's some retarded.
So that's the thing is like I can give you an example of a psychopathic, narcissistic, cowardly, lying male manager.
Hey, don't bring up ever.
Damn. Do I have to beep that?
Wait, is that
You can
who
go
you're
ahead and
talking
beep
about?
it. Go ahead and beep it.
Man, I'm gonna beep the basura.
But
I was joking. Is that what you're talking about?
100%.
He was dirty.
But here's the but that's the issue is like, okay, it doesn't have to do with gender. It's not a gendered issue. I don't see it that way because I've seen a lot of incompetence. I rarely found competence in men at all. Or there.
So the women were competent. All the women were really competent.
There were. I think there were more. There might have been more women, but they were really good at their job, and they were competent men. I was one of them. But the issue was that the environment was designed to hire trash people. So because they wanted to pay them trash, and they wanted you to kiss certain people's rear end, and only trash people would kiss it. So those are the people that stick around.
Right. Yeah. So if you exclude physical tasks in jobs,
yeah, then it's different.
Women can do great jobs and they can benefit the team and all this, right? But if we
No
go
question, yeah.
purely physical, then yeah, it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah, that makes perfect
why do
sense.
Men, well, because when those people that'll come up and say, "Oh, the patriarchy stuff," but it's more of like why are most men in political power? Most men are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Well, the military, obviously, that's more of a physical thing, or it has the potential to be extremely physical.
And also, men are the ones who generally tend to care about that stuff more and want to like throw themselves into those jobs. They like enjoy doing stuff like that somehow.
Yeah, there's dudes like Jocko out there. So he's like good.
Yeah, man. You put a woman in a CEO position, or you throw her into some of these super stressful jobs where they got to make decisions for hundreds of people and this and that. And a lot of women truly they might, like the ship's captain, they might not necessarily want all that responsibility, but they do want the title.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the work that comes with it. And I'm not saying all women, but there's a lot of women. They don't want the work. They can't handle the work. But they want the title. They want to be the boss, right? They want to just like this woman you were talking about at work. She wasn't your boss, but she still wants to give orders. She wants to try to throw her weight around and stuff. And that happens. It happens with men and women. But it sucks if you're a man and it's happening to you through a woman, like via a woman. You're just like extra pissed because it's like, God, you're such a weak human being. And you're here trying to throw around what? The muscles that you don't have? The intellect that you never like... What is
That's
this?
what threw me off when she started to like give people orders and try to tell me. And granted, she was technically in a position of, but I was like, no, because all the managers, I'm friends with all the like higher up managers, and they didn't like her. And I
was
knew that.
She your boss? I guess I
don't even know because she wasn't a manager; she was a trainee.
So she was training to be your boss.
Yeah, and then
does that mean that she has like?
I guess I don't think.
Does that mean that she has, in a sense, like nominal like authority over you?
Maybe, but it got to a point where it just kind of came to a head, and then I stopped talking to her because she would try to tell us what to do, and I was like, no, I was like, I'm gonna run this department how I want to.
Man, you're a terrible employee.
If you don't like it, you could just leave.
But were you actually a manager though?
No.
So how can you run the department?
Because I just do.
Well, I understand. Okay, so
sometimes it comes down to the most competent person. I show up there and the guy's like, what do you want us to do today? That's just how it fell, too. I was like, oh, our previous supervisor quit and he left, and I just kind of took over without them giving me the title. They've offered me a position, but it's on a different shift because other shifts don't do as well as our shift. So they're trying to move me to it. That's a whole other thing. But I was like, I already run this one. Why don't you just let me take over the position? I was like, I already do it. There's no title involved in it. I already make all the decisions because people, they don't know what to do. So they're like, oh, what do we do? And I'm like, I'll do it. I just want you guys to do this for me. And it works really well. We get the best numbers out of any shift.
I want to hear some self-critique here. Are you ever the problem?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I have...
That's right.
And you guys are aware of some of my... it's just me, though. I have issues just being angry with people. I'll admit that right now.
You have anger issues?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Now, certain things that have happened,
issue?
I won't go into super deep, but, you know, you guys know how things are for me. And sometimes it's kind of... People are incompetent. So they're like... And I had to rein myself in because one day people were just doing dumb stuff. They weren't helping me. And I was like, you guys can just leave. Just get the F out.
Besmirched.
It was a problem, but I had to internally, nobody said anything to me. I had to internally critique myself. Like, you know what, I was wrong. And now we're doing better, but we still get the best numbers. We get things done. I get things done.
Good.
But yeah, so she quit, and now we got another guy named Cody, and he's doesn't know as much as he needs to.
Do I need to beep that?
But he's no. What? Who? Somebody's name?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, nobody knows what. But yeah, he's cool because he doesn't. One thing she did, and that's what other people were telling me. She kind of acted like she knew what she was doing, but she didn't. And I don't really get that. She wasn't taking criticism. She would be like, "Oh yeah, I know." I'm like, "But you don't though." So a lot of people there just didn't like her. And then I did like her at the beginning, and then I started to not once she started kind of stepping on my feet a little bit and started to get involved in, you know, my specific department. She started messing up my production and potentially damaging my equipment and just doing all this other stuff. And I was like, look, I don't know why you're even trying to do this. Like, if you want to learn, that's fine. That's what she should have been there to do. She's supposed to just spend time in departments and observe what I'm doing, not tamper with my, you know, the settings on my computer or just.
Well, she weeded herself out, sounds like, right?
Yeah, she ended up just quitting.
Which is what's supposed to happen in situations like that with people like that. They'll weed themselves out.
Maybe it's the jobs that I have, though, because there's jobs that women excel at and they're more inclined to do it than men are. So definitely not, my experience is more rough jobs and difficult jobs. At least up at my job right now isn't really that rough, but up until this point, especially the oil field, that was just ridiculous. So,
see, this is where I got to clean you up at, brother.
Yeah, keep me clean.
This is where Silas and I come in and besmirch you because you keep on bringing up the oil field, man. I'm about had it on the show.
Well,
clean this
now
oil
I wish
field
you
up.
had. I ran into you when I first started. Didn't know what I was doing. Like one day,
That was
just
when
randomly,
you met Jared.
Yeah, no, I just ran into him randomly.
Maintained.
Because you remember you were dropping off, like you were picking up some water or something like that. Like, and I was like, "Oh, it's Jared." I wish you had met me. Not met me. You already.
Wow.
Knew who I was.
Hey, man.
Like later on, I was like, man. Now when I was like I had my promotion and things were cleaner. I was like, man, I wish Jared would swing by here now. All this is clean now.
You cleaned yourself up a little.
Yeah, I kept myself clean. But yeah, I don't know. Even in the offices too. Remember I mentioned the women in the offices? There was this weird thing where there was like affairs with the guys in the office. Some of the married guys in the office. There was all these rumors. I'm like, how come I'm hearing about it? I've been in the office like a couple times for whatever. I got to do paperwork. I got to take some class or whatever, refresh something. And I got to go to the office for it and talk to some of the ladies there. They were nice people. But I'm like, why? How come I'm hearing about these rumors all the way out and wherever, you know? I was like, where there's smoke, there's fire. So someone was probably somewhat true. There's just always, it adds extra drama. I lost one of my friends. I had a friend out there. His name was...
Someone died?
No. I
Okay,
just lost
you
a
gotta
friendship.
say that differently.
His name was
I thought
Chance.
he died.
You guys were there that night. Me and him had a big falling out because he thought I was trying to sleep with his girlfriend, which I 100% was not.
Hey, man, you can be honest on the BTG squad.
No, I would 100% tell you guys if I was. I didn't care about her. I mean, she was nice, whatever, but she was kind of a masculine woman, if I can say that. She had a really short haircut. She was like a weird person, and I was like, oh, we're friends. But one night she like came to Bismarck, and we were trying to hang out with him, but he wouldn't answer his phone. So like we went out to dinner, and then I was texting him. I was like, where are you at? And he wouldn't answer his phone for some reason. I don't know what happened that night, but she was like, well, I'm just She was gonna stay at like a hotel, and I was like, "You can sleep on my couch if you want to." And you know, sometimes you say that to people, and they don't actually sleep on your couch. They just leave and get a hotel. They're like, "No, I'm gonna get a room anyway." I kind of thought she would say that, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just stay here." I was like, "All right." But
See, I would never offer that.
What? You offered it to us the other day, didn't you?
No, but not my buddy's girlfriend, I don't think.
I didn't even know they were dating. Let's put that out there too. They hadn't announced to me that they were dating, and then she was texting him that night.
I mean, maybe I would.
Yeah, if you were, you know. It was just weird, though.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
So, yeah, he knew you were about to
we're
say
all
something
clean
dirty.
here, okay? It was a joke. It was a damn joke. You're on BTG squad.
But yeah, me and him are no longer friends because
Send your
of
emails.
Her. You know, because the whole social media thing. And sometimes,
How did you react to that? Because you were friends with him, right?
How did I react to what?
Yeah, because what did he say to you?
Well, here's the thing. She posted something. It was like it was a meme or some joke that I thought was funny, and I just repeated verbatim the thing that she said. Didn't really think about it. I was with you and Corey that day. We were at his old place.
Well, because what was it that was set? Like, what was in the meme?
It was like a work thing. She was like, "Oh, you guys," it was like you when people are at work or whatever, and they're like, they do something stupid, and then you're like, "Oh, you guys want to act funny? We can be hilarious today. We can do this." Like something like that. That's actually exactly what it was. Something like that. But anyway,
I'm confused.
She posted just a meme thing, and I just repeated verbatim what it said. I was like, "Oh, it was just fun." I just thought it was funny.
You responded to who?
Her post, her story
online?
Post. No, just I guess Snapchat. It's not really. I don't know.
You Snapchatted her?
Yeah, she sees stuff that people post, the comments on your story. Like if you comment, it comes up as a chat.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess she took me repeating the joke. That's what pissed me off too. I was like, nobody's interested in you romantically. That's not what I meant by this joke.
Her boyfriend was super interested.
Yeah, then he took a thing, and this is the guy that I trained for his position. So we had met on, remember that rig where it was like the storm or whatever, the rainstorm, and we took that picture of the tower.
I don't remember that rig. I was never there.
I showed you a picture of it. He took a picture, and it just looked like a cool picture. There's one that's really, that's like an iconic. It's in a lot of the offices. It's a lightning storm, and they were trying to drop the tower on this rig, so it's halfway down. The lightning strikes, and they took a picture. It just looked really cool. It's one of the well-timed pictures that they took, or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it was one like that. It was a rainstorm. We were about to go out to work, and I walked out, and it just looks really cool. So have you ever been out in the middle of a rainstorm? But then there's like strobe lights, and there's all the like equipment running and stuff. It just looked kind of cool. He took a picture of it and sent it to me or something. But yeah, and then we were friends on like, I guess Instagram and like random social media stuff. After that, I guess she just opened it and didn't say anything. And I was like, oh, whatever. I just didn't even think about it. Then she told him, oh, Seth's hitting on me, I guess, or something along those lines. So he gets upset and texts me, and he's like, oh, you're hitting on, I can't remember what her name was. When you know she's got a boyfriend, I'm not even going to say it. And typically I'm good at handling these situations, but there's rare instances. I was already just at the end of my rope that night. Did you guys ever have that? Do you guys ever just get angry?
No,
like
I always maintain my composure. I never get angry. I never get upset.
I think you're lying right
now.
now.
Yeah, I'm lying.
On camera. But you guys are aware of my personal situation, my life and the way things have gone, and it's contributed to certain things. One of them is just a shorter fuse sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he came towards me in this really aggressive way, and instead of, I think normally I would have been like, no, that's not what I meant by that comment. And I wasn't, didn't even know you guys were dating because you didn't tell me. But he's like, was like somewhat threatening me. And I was like, so I just, we did a bunch of back and forth. And after a while I was like, oh, well, if you got a problem with this, then come talk to me in person. You know where I'm at. Like, you know where my house is, or just come to where I'm at right now. I was like, I'll just meet you somewhere. And then I wanted him to say, say, okay, let's meet you somewhere, because I just felt like I wanted to hurt him. But he just didn't say anything after that. And then
on camera.
No, you guys know how it is.
I know what you're saying. So you guys had a little spat. You had a falling out.
Yeah, now he doesn't talk to me anymore. And I was like, I wasn't trying to sleep with your. Oh, God.
You don't have to Sure, she was a nice person.
She was a nice person, but I was like, I was not interested in sleeping with her, and that's not what I was trying to do.
She thought you were after her.
Yeah, I was like, please, don't flatter yourself.
Well, this sounds to me like you guys were not that great of friends.
Yeah, we had
because if Skeezy's girlfriend told Skeez, "Hey, Jared's been hitting me up on social media," Skeez would be like, "Shut the." He would tell her that. He wouldn't even come to me about this nonsense. Same thing with my girlfriend. If she told him, if she was like, "Hey, Skeez has been hitting me up,"
Skeez has been in the DMs.
I wouldn't bother Skeez with that.
No, man, you gotta lay hands on Skeez. You know he's been in those DMs.
I'll be like, "No, he's not. Just quit, please." Right? So it sounds like you guys were not that great of friends, brother. Because there's no way this would fly between two
We hadn't
good
known
friends.
each other that long. It was just me.
He was a casual acquaintance.
Yeah, he was somebody you probably liked and
now,
wanted there to be a great friendship, and his girlfriend blew it.
And now he's gone.
Before God, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not super upset about it, you know.
You are. You are super upset. Because I think in almost every podcast we've had this conversation.
I've never brought this up once.
I'm pretty sure I've heard this one a couple of times.
No, I've never brought this up.
No, man, you're besmirched in your brain still about this one. This one hurt you.
No, Silas, you know, there's plenty of things I've been through that hurt me. This one was just annoying. And I think it was like, you guys have those days where it's like the last straw, or it's like, you know, what did he say, Silas? He's like, it's the last drop in a chalice full of sorrow. Isn't that what he said? What was that?
Who said what?
Never mind. That was a quote from the...
straw that broke the camel's back. Use that one.
Never mind. It was an interrogation scene from The Witcher, not the TV show, but I forgot you didn't see that. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got rid of Henry, so screw him.
Yeah, dealing with anger... That's a tough one, man. You got to think, when you are angry, you got to think long term. You got to sit there in your anger and think long term. Because the initial reaction for me, I want to hurt people too. Mm-hmm. But just think about it a little bit. And then it sucks too, because you got to be the bigger person and just walk away.
I remember a quote about anger. I forget who said it, but they said, if you speak when you're angry, you'll deliver the best speech you'll ever regret.
I agree with that. Most oftentimes when I'm angry, I'll just be quiet. And I'll just shut the hell up. When I'm mad, I'll just be quiet. Because it's always, that's been the best way for me to handle stuff. Because later on, when I cool down, I'm like, you know what? Maybe the person I was angry at, they're like, oh, they maybe looked at me a certain way, like, God, why won't you just talk to me or say something? You're just pissed at me and you're just going to sit there quietly and stare at me like you want to kill me. I'm like, yeah, but that was better than what I wanted to do to you or what I wanted to say to you. So take my word for it. When I'm quiet and I'm pissed and I'm staring at you like I want to murder you.
I did you a favor.
I did you, both of us, a huge favor.
I kept you clean.
Okay, yeah. Deal with the silence is better than everything else I was going to say or do.
It was silence or screams, brother.
That's right. What did you want? I was going to break something. Because once you start talking when you're mad, then you really hype yourself up a little, and then you want to grab something and throw it, or you want to hit somebody. You can really like get yourself into it. You're like, you know what? I am going to say it. And I'm sick and tired of you. You see fights online where guys just won't. If one of them would just shut up, but they both keep talking, they get closer to each other, and eventually somebody throws a punch because they're right. At some point, they're right up in each other's face, nose to nose, and you push the dude off you, and then it just goes crazy, right? So it's like if one of you would just shut up and stop talking and be like, okay, man, whatever. And just leave and just be quiet and grit your teeth. Go punch a punching bag. Go to the gym. Do what you got to do. It's going to be better than this scenario now where you're both in jail or one of you died because I killed you. Something stupid. Yeah, anger's a tough one to deal with. The best method I've found is to just shut up. And it sucks too because you do feel like a pussy sometimes. If you're quiet, you let the other dude just scream at you or the girl or whoever it is, and you're like, I'm just going to be quiet.
That's my issue sometimes is that thought process of like, am I just afraid to hurt this person or do I not think it's right? Because I feel like it's right.
No, I worry about consequences.
Am I just afraid of the consequence? Am I just afraid to stand up for myself?
To the outward appearance, I've had that happen before where somebody told me once, they were like, because I was at a bar. And this dude he was being super racist, right? He was to my face, he was being super nice to me. And then I went to the bathroom And my buddy, I came back and my buddy was like, hey, man, he was saying the N-word, the hard R, and everything, like talking about black people. Not necessarily about me, but he was just
general.
He was being super racist about black people. And then I would show up and he would act all buddy-buddy with me, right? And after he told me that, the guy came over and was talking again to me. Now I knew. And I didn't freak out on him. I didn't call him out on it or anything because it would have turned into something stupid that wasn't. We were all drinking too. And I really wanted to, but I didn't. And then later on, like the next day, somebody was like kind of calling me a coward about it. Like, you didn't even get in that dude's face. Like, you didn't say anything to him. You didn't call him out on his BS. And I was like, damn. Then you have that moment where you're like, was I a coward? Like, why? You don't want somebody to call you a coward in that situation. You almost feel like it too. I felt when they brought it up, I was like, yeah, it sounds, I get what you're saying. It sounds like I was being cowardice. I didn't say anything to him about it. I just kept friendly conversation, and I kind of shunned him for the rest of the night. You know, I wasn't
the
his
only one
buddy.
that's a coward was him because he wouldn't say anything to your face. He was waiting till you leave and then saying stuff behind your back.
Right, but that's what you deal with when you're quiet and you handle things the right way. You have to go back and deal with the emotion of, I should have beat that dude. I should have said, I should have done this, should have. But usually that's never the right answer. Yeah. Usually the right answer is to just leave it alone, walk away. Unless my life's in danger, I try to avoid stuff like that. You can talk all you want to talk. That's the rule. Don't touch me.
Yeah. The only fights I've been in, it's always people like swinging first. People like literally attacking me. When once you do that, then I
didn't mean that, Seth. I didn't mean that.
Damn. You did.
You didn't mean what?
Then why'd you say it?
That night.
Oh. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever had to.
He was asking for it.
Do something like that. Now, if me and Silas are out, I'd feel differently if it was Silas, I think.
I pushed an old man in Las Vegas, pushed him to the ground because he said something to Corey.
Yeah.
Old man. He was drunk. He came up yelling at me and Corey about something because we both were there with white girls, right? Me and Corey were black dudes. We had white girlfriends at the time we were in Vegas. Some old drunk dude ran up to us and he was in Corey's face doing this. I shoved him down to the ground. I said, don't talk to him like that. And Corey was like laughing. Because what's he going to do to Corey? But I had a reaction. I was like, don't talk to Corey like that. And I shoved him down to the ground. But it's like you were saying, if it's one of your... But you still got to control... I shouldn't have done that either. You still got to control yourself. That's hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. If it's you, I think I'd be fine.
Yeah. Like, Corey was just looking at him like, what are you going to do? Like, okay. Corey was just going to keep walking. Corey was having a great night drinking, but I couldn't take it. I was like, don't talk to Corey like that. So don't you ever say that to Corey. Corey was like, just looking. This guy wasn't even up to us. He was down. He was like pointing at Corey. And I think he said the N-word too. So that's what set me off, and I pushed him. And then we were like, man, let's just get out of here. But, yeah, if it's somebody you love, like if a dude comes up to your girl or something in the store and like in her face and all that, it's like, do I lay this dude out right now? Like, that's where it gets weird because you're like, I gotta protect this person, but really nothing. He's just talking.
Yeah.
So it's a thing that you always got to deal with in your head. It's like, I'm gonna be calm. Just be calm. That's always the best.
Yeah.
Just walk away. I know it sucks. It hurts sometimes your ego. Just walk away. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
There's some situations, you look back on it, you're like, man, I should have said something different or actually done something different, but
I know that's the thing you struggle with. When you leave an altercation and you were the bigger person, then you leave and you get pissed on the drive home. You're like, I should have punched him. I should have pushed him. I should have said something back. I should have, but you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You handled it right. You left.
And I get along with most people. Most people, I haven't had any, I guess racist stuff has never really happened to me. There was one dude that, I guess I was working with this crew for the longest time. We go back to the oil field, but I got sent to another rig. I transferred to another rig, and they were like, he said, I guess nothing crazy, just about black people, but I guess they didn't know I was black, and he didn't either. And the only person who knew was the...
you're black? You know why they don't know you're black, brother? Do you have any idea why they would think that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Clean Asian.
I think you've been disguised.
But he
Undercover
said some
black.
stuff, and then it was just a rough day. My equipment wasn't working, so I was mad. And then he's like, oh, Seth's mad about something. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't hear what he said. I didn't even care. But they were like, oh, yeah, he's probably pissed because you said something racist about him. And he was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you said all that racist stuff in the meeting the other day. He's like, made all those jokes. He's probably pissed about it. And he's like, Seth's not black, though. So what the hell? They're like, yeah, he is.
Damn.
And then he comes up to me later on. He's like, look, I'm really sorry. I was just joking, and I didn't think. He's like, well, I didn't even know you were black, but I don't hate black. I was just making jokes. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the meeting the other day. And I was like, I didn't really hear what you said, but I don't really care about that, dude. He's like, well, you look like you were mad today, so I just thought maybe you were mad at me. I was like, no, my stuff's not working. I was like, I got about $500,000 worth of equipment just sitting here, so I was just collecting dust before God. I gotta fix it.
Or after?
I gotta fix it before the next shift comes. So I was just worried about work stuff, and he thought I was mad at him. I was like, no, dude, you're good. He's like, all right, but yeah.
Yeah, racism.
You've had like real more craziness. I was pissed when I heard about the Main Street thing. Dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an interesting story.
That happens today. I'm jumping on the car and beating him up.
No, you can't. You'll go to jail, brother.
No, I'd be like, look, it was self-defense. He attacked my brother, so I punched him a few times.
What pissed me off more about that situation was I pulled over and I was going to do something because I was a dumb teenager, and my boys pulled over behind me and nobody got out of the car. But he did hop out of his truck with like 3 pit bulls too, so we'd have got mauled.
Oh, God dang.
So I was like, yeah, there's dogs barking all around the car, and he's kicking the car. Or his dogs, I can't remember if the dogs got out or stayed. He had a lot of pit bulls, and his door was open. He got out, he was kicking the car, he was yelling at me. I was like, and none of my boys jumped. I was like, damn, this is a bad situation.
I should have all jumped him, but then maybe they were worried about the dogs too.
Yeah, we were all worried about the damn, because it was an old man. Yeah. But we were worried about them dogs. And he seemed like he was super racist and super pissed. I was like, he'll call them. If I step out, 100% he'll call them. Call on his boys before the Lord, he'll call them. But I think he was drunk. And cops did, as soon as he left that altercation, cops did pull him over. And then I ended up going and talking to the cops that pulled him over and just telling him that he had been saying racist slurs in traffic. That's what set me off. I didn't handle it right because I had my window down. We were at a light, and I heard he was next to me with his son or whatever, and their dogs, and they were I heard the N-word, and I was like, I said, what did you say? Which I shouldn't have done. I should have just left. But I was like, what did you say? What did you just call me? And then he just started screaming and yelling, and I was like, I pulled over. Went into the next parking lot. He followed me in. He jumped out. And then the dogs, I saw the dogs, and I was like, oh, damn. Like, maybe. Then I just didn't get out. I was like, this might go real bad. And none of my boys jumped out behind me. I was like, I'm just going to leave this one here. Yeah, but I was pissed for a long time about, because I left that interaction once again feeling like a weak man because I didn't get out and do anything. I was like, I just left, Yeah. So I dealt with that for a long time. And I remember I took a big butcher knife from the house, a kitchen knife. I'll always, whenever we were out cruising Maine, I'll have that big knife on me. I don't know, what are you going to do, kill somebody?
Yeah, it's like a weird...
It's the teenage mind. I was like, I got to defend myself. And he had dogs. I had nothing. I was like, next time, if I see him again and he's got those dogs, I'm getting out and I'm going to have this knife. And the dogs are going to die, and then I'm going to have to do him up.
I told you about that girl in the bar that was trying to, that one dude he was pushing and shoving his way through the crowd. He was pushing everybody away, and he bumped me on his way past. And my back was to him because the bar is right here. A long time ago, me and Clay went to this Halloween party, and he bumped into me, but he bumped into everybody. It was like a really tight space. So he walks by, and there was this girl next to me, and she was like, oh, you didn't even do anything. Sometimes girls will start fights. I was like, what? And she was like, all that muscle, and you just let him push past you. I was like, he pushed past everybody. I was like, I don't think he even saw me. He was a little short guy, too. I was like, what do you want me to do? Choke this little guy out and go to jail tonight? It was just weird.
Yeah, that happens at bars a lot. That happened to me the other night. We're standing at the bar, and just these dudes come. They have no respect. They'll just bump into you, on the way out. And I turned around and looked at him, and I was like... But it's one of those points where you have to realize drunk people at a bar... A lot of times, they don't necessarily, sometimes they don't really mean it. They're just, it's a crowded place. They're bumping their way through. You can easily take it They go, what are you doing? But I've bumped into people at bars too, and they don't freak out at me. So I'm like, but usually if I bump into someone at a bar, I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to get through.
Yeah, that's
but
what
the
I do.
dudes that don't say that, that's when you turn around, you're like waiting for that, hey, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, nothing? Now I want to kill you. You ain't
Yeah,
gonna
some people bump into
apologize
me,
for it?
and they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention." I'm like, "Oh, you're all good." Like it's no big deal. But then if you do it and don't apologize, then
Right.
it's a big
Some
deal.
people do it just like, get out of my way.
I did want to go back to the one topic we were talking about,
You got
like
about
women
15.
in a workplace. I'll just say this quick. It was like a weird, and later on I thought about it. I was like, man, the only reason this was any kind of issue is because it was a woman. We hired a girl to work in our department just recently, but she just works. She's not in a management position. She's just starting out, so it's fine, whatever. She was like, I was in a spot where we were just, it was like a repetitive, I was just moving things that are coming off an assembly line. Sometimes defective product comes off, and I was like, let's just move it off. I kept doing the same motion with my hand to grab this stuff and move it off. Wasn't watching behind me. She walks in front of me, and like I was still reaching forward to grab this thing, and my hand hit like her chest area, like the side, and I was like, oh, like sorry. Like, you just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, felt like bad about it, and I was like, man, I should apologize. Well, I already did, but I was like, man, that was kind of weird. Like it almost, you know. And then I was like, man, I thought back. I was like, that type of stuff always happens with dudes. But if it's a guy, I just hit you in the chest. And I'm like, there's no need to. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh yeah, you're all good. And we keep going. I'm like, the only reason this is any type of weird because it's a woman. And I was like, I hope it would be weird if she went to whatever the cameras, which if she was like wanted to make a thing out of it, like, oh, I gotta, you know,
Trying to cop a feel over there. That's
yeah, it would be weird if she went and said that, which was 100% not true. But it's just like that type of stuff can happen. There was a case I want to bring up to you guys because we talk about. I know I only got 15, but you know how the girls in the gym, they go to the gym, they set up a camera, they'll like, oh, he was looking at me. There was a dude was legit blind. Did you hear about that?
No.
And she's like in this guy's face, and she's like, stop staring at me. He was looking at what she was in front of him, I guess. He's like, I can't see, I'm blind. He had a medical card. He was actually blind. He's like, look at this. He's like, grabs his wallet. Look at this card. I'm blind. She was like, no, that's probably fake or whatever. She gets gym management and gets him kicked out. And he ended up suing the gym because he showed the manager. He's like, I'm blind. I wasn't looking at her. Wasn't looking at anything. I can't see. They're like, no, you got to leave because you still can't make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He was like, what
Women
part
are
of
gonna-
I can't see?
Women are going to have to get over that one.
I was like,
We
you got to
can
be
look.
kidding me.
I can look. And I will, too. Before God, after him, AD, BC, I'll look. Okay? If you're wearing it and I feel the need, I'll look.
I don't
give a
because
damn.
I just don't. But
No, I'm not saying I'm going to
Yeah.
look at your boobs. Like, I'm not doing that. But if I see you and I'm like, oh, it's a good looking woman, you're not going to stop me from looking at you. Like, and I wish you would. I wish you'd try. Okay?
I didn't want to get involved in any nonsense when I was at the gym. After all these videos came out, I was like, I just kind of ignore women, sort of. I'm like, you do your own thing, and that's fine.
That's the unfortunate
I'll
thing.
interact with men because men are easier to deal with. It's actually just easy to talk to guys too. You ever just walked up to a random dude and said something?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, how's it going on? How's your day going? Or something. Just and he's like, oh, you know, and we'll just start a conversation. Dudes are kind of women think you have. If they like you, sometimes they'll start
dudes
talking
do
to
often
you.
have ulterior motives, but yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
So, and I've walked up to women and I know that's what they thought. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking to you because I need the, you know, whatever out of necessity or something. But I try to avoid that because sometimes they think you like them and that's some type of. I'm like, no, I don't. But that's what you think.
I mean, I like the way you look. I'm talking to you. So what's the problem?
Keep your hands off me.
I'm not touching you.
I'm trying to.
He's like, before God, don't touch me.
Before God,
I swear to
will.
God, don't touch me.
You cannot infringe on my rights, okay? I'll look if I want to. If I want to stare, I'll stare. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Well, it's been a crazy late night show.
This has been a crazy After Dark podcast with the boys.
We got to censor half this show.
No, man, it's not censored. It's not edited. Send your emails to btgsquad128@gmail.com. I've said it many times. I'll say it again. Any closing comments from anybody?
Hey, Silas, would you like to shout out anything? Or
He's clean again. Just don't even pan to him. We already know how this ends. He's clean. The mic is off. The lights are on, but ain't nobody home.
Nobody's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do this again soon. Subscribe to BTG Squad. Don't forget, email us. And if you have a specific topic you want to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments or elsewhere. Like I said, email, comments, it all works. We have Instagram, Twitter, everything. X.
Yeah, and I do want the stories too. If we can get those.
Yeah, I'd love to respond to some people's crazy stories or wild stories, whatever you guys got.
Yeah, real life stories would be good. But if you make something up, I guess
that's right. I'll be able to determine if it's fake enough.
Yeah, if it's crazy, we'll probably be like, this
it
might be fake. But it would still be fun to talk about.
Yeah. But until next time, boys.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys in the next show. Later.